What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, excuse me. I just got off of work, putting on food. Um, but how is everybody doing tonight? Um, I hope everybody had a good Friday. Hope everybody had a good Friday today. Everybody had a good Cinco de Mayo to all my Hispanic brethren and sisters. Hope everybody going in. Let's uh let's go ahead and get that roll call coming on. What's going on? Yes, sir. You already know. Look, you already know. You already know. I always go towards the light. Always go towards the light. Let's see. We got 13 in here right now. Let's see if we can get up to let's see if we can get up to 25. 25 people in here, and that way we can go ahead and get it cracking, get it going. Um, Mr. Harris, how you doing? How you doing? Oh yeah. You had you had COVID. Man, that's crazy. You actually had COVID. So um, glad that you are back. We're gonna give you a round of applause. We got brother Edwin in here, Southern from Southern, but he's always a good brother to us. Miss Mr. Quay, how you doing? How you doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope everybody got they drink in hand. Everybody got their drink in hand. And Mr. Harris, man, look, I'm just glad that you good, man. Uh you good. That way everything, be on the up and up. Everything's on the up and up. We got 23, 24 people in right now. That's like I said, let's see if we can get to let's see if we get up to 30. Get up to 30 subscribers. Let's see if we can get up to 30 subscribers. Go ahead and get this. And hopefully I get Mr. Ford on here tonight. It's Friday. We got 31 subscribers tonight, right now. 31 people viewing right now. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Always, always, always. Get this going. Make sure that it's on. All right. I'll try that too. I'll try that. Oh man, I wouldn't say a boring Friday, but it was a Friday. It was a good Friday. Um, it was a good Friday for today. But didn't do too much of anything. 35 people in here right now. We're probably gonna keep this short and sweet. I forgot that Ken Clark is in. They are here in Texas at Prairie View for the SWAC championship, track and field championships. To the east, as always. But other than that, Let's go ahead and get this going. But before we do that, we're gonna go to a commercial break right now.
HBCU Overdrive is proudly sponsored by WeWorkForEverything.org. At WeWorkForEverything.org, this is for those who are trying to build for a dream with their latest hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and accessories and more. You can have it all here at a reasonable price. Black owned and operated out of the great state of New York. Like I said, get suited and booted. Check it out at WeWorkForEverything.org. Peace.
Oh yeah. Make sure one of the moderators, she gonna let you know. Like I said, she already on it. Channel sponsor. Also, if you are, I'm gonna start sponsoring these folks right here. If you are in the DFW area, if you're in the Metroplex, whether you want to call it the Metroplex, the Big D, Triple D, I need y'all to make your way down to Redbird Mall. Well, the shops at Redbird Mall, but to us locals, it's always going to be Redbird Mall. Go to End Zone for your custom embroidery for all of your fraternities, sororities. If you're a Mason, Eastern Star, Shriners, everything that you need to have done in there. You get shirts done, you get your jackets done, you get you get college t-shirts from Wiley, Langston, Jackson State, Southern, Alcorn, Prairie View, whatever school that they go to and they visit, they will have everything for you. If you need to get everything custom for homecoming, for somebody that's crossing, probate, anything, go talk to Miss Cheryl and Mr. Cletus. They will get you right. They will get you nice and right. I've been knowing them for over 20 years. They've been doing this for a long time, and their work is impeccable, and they stand on their word about giving you a high quality product at a reasonable price, y'all. So go check them out if you are in the DFW area at End Zone in the shops at Redbird. I'm gonna try to get a commercial with pictures and stuff on there too. So let everybody know where they're located. If you're in Dallas, and I'm gonna let you know they also do travel. So they go to different events. So they do travel, and you can, like I said, you can still check them out. Um, but anyway, man, let's get on into this. Let's get on into what we're talking about, what we want to talk about. So we kind of got into this the other day. And we were talking about the media backlash, the backlash from the NFL, not combine, but the NFL draft, and there was a certain coach that was kind of upset about HBCU players not being able to get that wasn't drafted this year than what we saw from last year. Last year we saw 4 players from our ranks get drafted into the NFL, and countless others get undrafted free agent contracts. Now, if you remember, we go this year, we only had one guy, and y'all already know what school he came from. One guy get drafted in the NFL draft in the 7th round, and that was Isaiah Bolden from Jackson State. Now, what we're saying is, which coach said this? It was his own coach. It was his old coach, Deion Sanders, as always. He wanted to thank Isaiah. He gave thanks to Isaiah as far as for getting drafted into the NFL. That was a dream, like I said, that's a dream for majority of the kids that are trying to pursue their dream is to hear their name get, you know, called by the commissioner or by whoever, and to hear it on TV, on live TV, and to get that call from their, um, to get the call from, like the GM, the owners, the whole hoopla of everything, y'all. That's the reason why, these kids want that. They want that experience. They want that emotion. They want that the gratitude that they get, right? Now, understandably so, understandably so, there were, um he Deion got upset that there was not a lot of people. What's going on, the one? There was not a lot of people. That was the players that did not get drafted. Okay, and there was some draft worthy players from our ranks that should have got drafted, but I think it was the best fit for them. All right. Um, of course, we could say the SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, Aubrey Miller. Um, could he have got drafted? Yes, he could have gotten drafted, but um, you could say, well, his 40 time was trash. You could say this and say that, but us, excuse me, as fans, y'all, as fans, we see, we know what we see when we watch them on the field. Especially if you was at every Jackson State home game, even if you was on the road, you saw what Aubrey Miller can do on the field. You saw what Isaiah Boulder could do on the field. If you went to FAMU, you saw what Isaiah Land could do on the field. You saw what Xavier Smith could do on the field. You went to Pine Bluff. Mark Evans was a mauler as an offensive lineman. You can yes, sir. I'll give it that in a second. You can check. You can look at those guys and see them and see and say, hey, they can play at the next level. Okay. Now, a lot of people started saying it was pushback. One person in particular was Shannon Sharp. He said this on Undisputed. He always say, well, him and Prime is they best friends. Um, um, Also, they can all, he always say, well, he always throw out there that he went to HBCU at Savannah State. The only reason why he went there because he was a Prop 48 student. All right. He didn't have the grades to get into any other school, but he had to go the route of the HBCU to get where he was going. Now, was he a great player at Savannah State? Absolutely, he was a great player at Savannah State. But I think I feel like once he got into the NFL, his true colors pretty much came out. It pretty much showed itself when it came, when he got into the NFL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a clip. I'm not going to show the video because I want people to actually hear what was said. So let me get this. Contrary, what's good? All corn in the house already, man. Already. All corn is synonymous in my family because my cousin was the starting quarterback for Alcorn from 98 to 2001. Just point blank. Damian Ford. That's my cousin. Oh yeah. Quick check in. All right. Yeah, check in. Fairfield Lodge 452, Fairfield, Texas. Prince Hall. Most worshipful Grand Lodge. Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Texas. That's where I'm from. That's where I hail from. All right. So everybody know, but is real. But I'm gonna play this clip, y'all, and I want y'all to kind of get into what he was talking about. So I don't want to get. I'm not gonna show the video, so that way I won't get flagged for it.
Patriots in the draft. However, he was the only HBCU player selected in this year's draft.
Two team shows up.
This year they did. Yes.
If that's the question, okay, who are those players that should have been drafted and what round should they have been drafted in?
47 went to this combine.
Who are the players that should have been drafted from the HBCUs?
Okay.
And what round should they have been drafted in?
All right.
Skip, this is not affirmative action because there were times that black kids couldn't get into university, so they had to imply jobs. There were jobs blacks couldn't get, so you had to implement it. But the NFL is a business. The NFL, if I don't give a damn what color you are, if you can help us win, that's why they take guys with questionable character.
Yeah.
They don't care. They want to win. Pro sports is a bottom line business. The only two things that are on the menu, wins and losses. Now, how many guys can we get? I don't give a damn the color. Can help us win. Skip. I mean, you look at the conferences. The SEC had 62, no surprise there. Big Ten. Skip. I think, hold on. All the top 10 players. Guess what, Skip? I'm gonna give you one guess. Guess what color every top 10 pick this year in the NFL draft was? I'll give you one guess. Black. 3 of the top 5 quarterbacks that were selected, 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
Guess what color they were, Skip?
Yeah. Okay. We can go 4. It was 4 out of 5. First 4 out of 5, right? Yeah. Off the board were black quarterbacks.
Yes.
Well, that's historic, right?
So, what am I missing, Skip? I get it. I went to an HBCU.
You did.
But Skip, I believe if the guys were talented enough, I don't believe the NFL. There was once upon a time that was the case. Not just at HBCUs, there were black quarterbacks that were good enough to play in the NFL that got overlooked. Skip, with the way that it is now and the amount of money that there are a few teams don't spend, but most teams spend an absorbent amount of money on scouting. These guys get in their car and they drive around to the Grambling, to the Prairie Views, and all these other institutions and trying to find that diamond in the rough. You'll get more credit for finding an HBCU guy that can play in the NFL than you will at Michigan. Hell, they got the best of everything. So they should be top of the line. But when you're at an HBCU, your offensive coordinator, probably your running back coach, maybe your wide receiver coach, and hell, he might even teach a class. I'm gonna disagree with Prime on this one. Okay. I believe if the guys were talented enough to get drafted, I believe they would have gotten drafted.
Okay. I love Deion Sanders. I love what he has done for Colorado already. He has put them back on the national football map, even thanks to their spring game, which was an event thanks to Deion.
Right.
But he lost me on this one because, A, he did leave Jackson State for Colorado, so he's no longer affiliated with the HBCU. Right. They did have one kid drafted from Jackson State.
I think the Patriots took it with the last pick, right?
Yeah, Isaiah Bolden. Okay. Yes. But you know and I know, once upon a time, HBCUs were a pro pipeline.
Yeah.
It was like Hall of Fame city. It was just like the pipeline was just, you could go down and find, there's a player, there's a player.
Yeah, but let's give you to have integration.
Yep. There you go.
Once they integrated the school, it was over.
It was over. I loved your note about the whole first round. It was all black. So you're telling me that at the combine, prejudice was operating against the HBCU kids because they didn't want to draft them because they're black? I think not. If they can play, they can. Listen,
they can play.
This league doesn't care. It's maybe once upon a time it cared, but doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. I just, Skip, Walter Payton, Jackson State.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, Mel Blunt. I mean, the list goes on and on.
It's like a Hall of Fame list.
Steve McNair, Jerry Rice went to an HBCU. I just believe with the way they scout, Skip, I believe, and Skip, that 16 guys did sign via free agency. Okay, that's a good note. Skip, that's still an opportunity.
It is.
Draft, and sure, it is a huge accomplishment. Did I want to get drafted? Yes. But my number one goal was to play in the NFL. I didn't care what position I wanted to play. And if I had to go the free agent route, guess what? Somebody was going to give me a helmet and a shoulder pads. Now it's up to me.
It is. Yep. You're right. That's a good point. Okay. Big picture. Bryce Young goes number 1 overall.
Yes.
CJ Stroud goes number 2.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson goes 4th. And then we drop down to Will Levis, who is not a black quarterback, finally went in the, second pick of the second round, to Tennessee. And yet I thought and was on the record that Hendon Hooker will be better in pro football than Will Levis. And Hendon Hooker went with the 5th pick in the 3rd round. Still a pretty high pick.
Last year they said HBCU had 4 players taken in last year's draft. So last year they took 4. This year, like, well, you know what? We took too many last year. Let's only take 1 this year. Come on, man. They don't do that. No. And you know, if you're good, they'll find you. It's just the way it is, Skip, okay?
Yeah.
The teams, the scouting department, the scouts didn't deem that the players that they scouted was worthy of getting drafted. We'll give.
All right, so we're gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop it right there. So I kind of agree with Shannon Sharp. I kind of agree with Shannon for a little bit, but I'm gonna have to disagree with him. I'm probably have to disagree with him on some things. When he said that the scouts and the general managers and everybody they knew what they scouting, they went with what they saw. Every scout for the NFL was at the HBCU combine, was at majority of these pro days. There's no way in the world that only one person gets drafted. What's going on, Brother Picard? One player gets drafted, right? What's going on, Sam? That and the rest of everybody is like, we're not worried about it. All right. So what I will agree with Shannon, this is pretty much what I would agree with. Really, this is what I would agree. I wouldn't even say with Shannon. This is what I agree with Skip Bayless. Skip put it out there that even though Deion coached at Jackson State for those 3 years, y'all, you bolted out of there. You have no ties to the HBCU world football no more. You bolted out of there, and you were ashamed that no HBCU player, only one HBCU player got drafted. And the reason why I kind of agree with what Skip said on there is because I don't think he did enough. He was there long enough to see the fruits of his labor. You get what I'm saying? I don't think he was there long enough to see the fruits of his labor. He was not there long enough. But guess who's going to be there long enough to see the fruits of the labor? TC will. TC going to be there for a minute. I guarantee that TC going to be there for a minute. I'm going to sound like Charles Barkley. I guarantee it that TC going to be there for a minute. And he going to see the fruits of his labor, the fruits of the labor of the previous head coach for those players getting drafted into the NFL. And while we at it, we got more people coming into the chat. B-Rob, what's good, my family? What's good, family? This my cousin. This my other cousin right here, Ronald Hunt, man, Chuck Hunt, down there in Monroe. Swag fan as always. Critique Designs. Mr. Charles Martin, what's good? What's going on, everybody? Make sure that y'all go ahead and like this stream. Make sure that you comment, share, and share it with both people. Share it with more people right now and subscribe to it. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. But getting back to what we was talking about. Hold on, y'all. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. Got to cook there. We cooking dinner. And Miss Quay gonna get on y'all. She gonna get on y'all. 72 in the house. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let's do some donating. Let's do some donations. Donate to the channel. Miss Quay, go ahead and put in the in the chat on the Cash App. There's all kinds of tigers in the house. There's all kinds of HBCU people in the house, y'all. Not just tigers. I got me at people up in here. Come on, Russell. I like this question right here. Is the NFL obligated to draft the best HBCU players? If so, why? I don't think the NFL is obligated to draft the best HBCU player. I think the NFL, the teams by far are going to draft the people, the players that that's best for them, that team, that particular team. And we got the misses in the chat. That is the main sole purpose. You're trying to win. First of all, you're trying to win football games, but also you're trying to keep with the bottom dollar. That's the main focus. That's the main things as far as for an NFL team. You're trying to make the most money. You're trying to make the most money without spending the most money. Put this in here. But you're trying to make the most money and trying to spend the least. That is how a team thrives. That is how a team survives. That is how a team survives. Making more money than trying to spend it. And that's how you do it. That's how a team works. Because if in reality, if they wanted to, they didn't have a salary cap. Everybody could have been spending money on all the players. It will be the whole wild west again. Now, I'm gonna play this clip. All right. Now, this is from a little like a podcast group called the name Crane and Company. Check them out. They do real good. They pretty much do real good. Have good shows where they talk about everyday things that some people don't want to talk about. But I'm going to go ahead and play this clip of what was going on, what happened right here. So I'm at the way. Share the screen.
former HBCU players for getting drafted, but then said, Deion Sanders said, I'm ashamed that the other 31 teams. What Deion Sanders had to say about the draft. Now, he congratulated one of his former HBCU players for getting drafted, but then said, Deion Sanders said, I'm ashamed that the other 31 teams couldn't find value in HBCU players. This guy, I don't dislike Deion Sanders. I grew up a Florida State fan. I grew up a Deion fan. But to me, you had an opportunity to play college football anywhere in the country. You could have gone to an HBCU school. Where'd he go? He went to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
He played for Bobby Bowden. Why? Because he's looking out for himself. Then another decision, you could have stayed at the HBCU school you were coaching, but you didn't. You left. And not only did you leave, you took all the great players you were bragging about recruiting with you because you were looking out for yourself. So when NFL GMs look out for their self-interest by drafting who they think is the best player, then what are you talking about? This guy is a snake oil salesman to me, a grifter of the highest order. And now there's 25 players from Colorado in the transfer portal. Maybe that's just because they can't cut the mustard and they're not up to the Coach Sanders standard for what he's setting there in Colorado, or maybe it's because people are catching on to this.
Well, it's like that scene from Eastbound and Down when Kenny Powers is on Sports Sesh and that show. And the one guy who played for a long time was like, yeah, I just don't think it's a good look taking this contract. It's more about your relationship with the fans. And Kenny Powers looks at him and goes, then why don't you play for free, dog? Like, this is so hypocritical to me. You left you did that. You went to an HBCU, talked about how you were going to change the HBCUs and put them on the map. You were there for what, 2 seasons? First good-looking girl that looked your way, you bounced and took all the players. How can you try and play both sides of this fence? Like, this is just, there's some things that you can kind of get away with. There's like nuance. You can argue. We see it in politics all the time. You can argue your way out of it. There's no nuance to this.
The thing about it is, like, if you're good enough, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care what you look like, right? Or where you're from. If you're a good enough player, they're going to find you. It doesn't matter. But it's Deion Sanders. The biggest hypocrite in the world. So are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I understand the PR. I understand the prime PR, which is be in the headlines, even if it's a negative thing, which is not just a him thing. People are like, hey, as long as my name's in the paper, I don't care if it's good press or bad press. But I don't know. It's just not the way I operate.
I was surprised to see it. Hey, everybody out there on YouTube, really appreciate you guys. If it's your first time seeing us, if you watch us all the time.
So, I want dude, the first dude said it all together. I want people to listen. I don't know if people in the back did not hear what this man had to say. I want people to listen to what this guy had to say about what Deion said and why what Deion said was hypocritical. The statement that he said was hypocritical because of what had happened with him. Now, I want people to listen to the first part, probably like the first 45 seconds. These guys told the truth. But I'm gonna go and then we're gonna stop.
What Deion Sanders had to say about the draft. Now, he congratulated one of his former HBCU players for getting drafted, but then said, Deion Sanders said, I'm ashamed that the other 31 teams couldn't find value in HBCU players. This guy, I don't dislike Deion Sanders. I grew up a Florida State fan. I grew up a Deion fan. But to me, you had an opportunity to play college football anywhere in the country. You could have gone to an HBCU school. Where'd he go? He went to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's one thing that you hear. He could have went to an HBCU school, but he decided not to. He went to Florida State. So he already said what he said about that. Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what we can do as far as what that goes, but we're gonna continue with the other part what he said. I just want people to actually listen for the ones way in the back. Spence.
Played for Bobby Bowden. Why? Because he's looking out for himself. Then another decision, you could have stayed at the HBCU school you were coaching, but you didn't. You left. And not only did you leave, you took all the great players you were bragging about recruiting with you because you were looking out for yourself.
There we go. That's the main thing. what people didn't understand. I don't think people didn't understand. The as soon as you saw you had the little pretty petite white, pretty petite girl, you know what I'm saying? She looked good and everything. Like she had the, she got the little face, baby face and everything. All right. You had that. You took as soon as you saw the first big booty girl that sachet that sachet in your face, I'm gone. You gone. You is gone. I'm just saying, it's just an analogy. It's an analogy, y'all. It's an analogy. I want people to understand it's an analogy, y'all. Okay? Swag fan, he could have went to easily gone to another HBCU, but that's not what he wanted. That man wants to coach Power 5 football, and he wants to coach his son. That's the main reason why he got into being a head coach. He wants to continue to be able to coach his son. And I don't say damn about the rest of the players. I'm just saying, but I'm going to continue one more time for the folks in the back.
So when NFL GMs look out for their self-interest by drafting who they think is the best player, then what are you talking about? This guy is a snake oil salesman to me, a grifter of the highest order. And now there's 25 players from Colorado in the transfer portal. Maybe that's just because they can't cut the mustard and they're not up to the Coach Sanders standard for what he's setting there in Colorado, or maybe it's because people are catching on to this.
Well, it's like that scene from Eastbound and Down when Kenny Powers is on Sports Sesh and that show. And the one guy who played for a long time was like, yeah, I just don't think it's a good look taking this contract. It's more about your relationship with the fans. And Kenny Powers looks at him and goes, then why don't you play for free, dog? Like, this is so hypocritical to me. You left you did that. You went to an HBCU, talked about how you were going to change the.
Yep. Remember when he first got it up in there, he said, you came to the HBCU, you talked about how you're going to change the whole landscape of all HBCUs, not just Jackson State, but all HBCUs. How he was going, yes, Mr. Martin, how he was going to uplift the HBCUs. That was his main talking point. If you talking about, if you want to be, say, like a politician, that was his main talking point. That was his selling point. I'm selling you that you can go to school here, you get a great education here, you can play here, and you can go to the NFL. The only people that do stuff like that is a politician. The only ones who will do stuff like that will try to sell you a pipe dream is a politician. And half of them suckers are dirty anyway. One more time.
HBCUs and put them on the map. You were there for what? 2 seasons? First good-looking girl that looked your way, you bounced and took all the players. How can you try and play both sides of this fence? Like, this is just, there's some things that you can kind of get away with. There's like nuance. You can argue. We see it in politics all the time. You can argue your way out of it. There's no nuance to this.
The thing about it is, like, if you're good enough, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care what you look like, right? Or where you're from. If you're a good enough player, they're going to find you. It doesn't matter. But it's Deion Sanders, the biggest hypocrite in the world. So are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I understand the PR. I understand the prime PR, which is be in the headlines, even if it's a negative thing, which is not just a him thing. People are like, hey, as long as my name's in the paper, I don't care if it's good press or bad press. But I don't know. It's just not the way I operate.
I was surprised to see it. Hey, everybody.
All right. So that's it on that. That's it on that. They went in. They went in. And it was like, dude, the way they went in is like, dude, you had a chance to be a god at your respective institution, which is Jackson State University. You probably won't be in the rap. You if you would have stayed probably about 5 or 6 more years at Jackson State and won as many games there at Jackson State, you probably will be up in the Mount Rushmore Jackson State coaches like W.C. Gordon and Big Daddy Carson. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it just like that. I'm just putting it just like that. But no, like you said, you saw the first pretty girl had the blonde hair and the blue eyes and was cold to the touch and stayed in the mountains, and you bounced. In fact, you didn't bounce. I'm gonna say it just like this: you did not bounce at the end of the season. You bounced from towards the beginning of the season. Your mind was already out the door. Your mind was already out the door. Your mind, like what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying it is that it's true. Your mind was already out the door. It could, hey, CT, he bounced at the first chance he got there. He bounced at the first little pretty girl that he saw. Oh, she look good. What? Time to go. Time to go. His mind was already gone. His mind wasn't even on the team at this point. His mind was not even on the team at this point. Oh, before I continue, hey, shout out to my boy, the one Jameson for the $20, you know what I'm saying, donation to the channel. I thank you, my brother. Thank you. But I don't think he hurt HBCUs. He didn't hurt HBCUs because, like they said, his mind was already set on going. We would just want to know when you were gonna leave. And I'm not saying this. Mr. Wood. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying like this. Yes, he was already looking ahead. I understand that. I think every coach, it's not even just every coach. I think everybody who has a mindset of elevating themselves are trying to look ahead. They are trying to look 2-3 years ahead of time right now. I kind of look like a month ahead, 2 months ahead. But his mind was already set after the second and third game. Third game was Grambling. That was in September. You saw what he said about Grambling and the fans and how the fans was freaking falling out because it was too damn hot with the water and everything. Okay. Another thing, well, I'm gonna say it just like this: the fourth game of the season, the man checked out. After the fourth game of the season, he did an interview. He did the coach's interview in Colorado. That should have just told us right there that he's already looking ahead. Just hold on, yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry about that. Gotta make sure the kids eat. Like reality is just set in. Did he have the right to call Isaiah Bolden and say, "Hey, I thank you for getting drafted to the NFL"? You know what I'm saying? Because he recruited him from Florida State to go to Jackson. Okay. And oh, blue. I remember, man. The report of when he talked to TCU while he was in the hospital, and he, yes, like really, he was on. The man was damn near about to die, and had to get. You remember, he had to get his toes amputated and the side of his legs. He had to get them filleted out. He interviewed. It was he say it was all talk and everything. He interviewed for that job. They weren't gonna give that man that job. Not at TCU. They did it because, like, look, it's Deion Sanders, and what he doing at Jackson State is cool, but I don't think he has the cachet. He got the cachet. I don't think he has enough credential as far as being a head coach at a university. I don't see he had that. He only has a abbreviated spring season, and then he had the 21 season, and pretty much 3.5, 4 of those games, he did not even coach in it. Remember. If you pull him up, Blue, just go ahead and send it to me, man. Because, like, literally, they went dead. Like, I watched that show. They went right at Blue. Like, no, the man literally was on his deathbed. And was trying to then do an interview to get the coaching job at TCU. And it the way he was doing that, and then we're gonna go straight back into the what they was talking about. Man, he did that, man. It's just like, for example, it's like that one guy that really don't have a job, but he go out there and he puts on not the suit, but just a regular shirt, button down shirt, a tie, and some baggy ass slacks with some shoes, with some the Walmart shoes, and be like, I need to find a job. I need to go look for a job. Don't have no resume, don't have nothing in his hand, not looking presentable and everything. I just need to find a job. That's what he was looking at. That's the way he was looking like. Like, that's what he was looking like. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. And so now I get it. Like, yes, he can congratulate Isaiah for getting drafted. That he did bring him to Jackson State, or not even say he brought him to Jackson State. Isaiah chose to go to Jackson State because of him. Let's just put it just like that. Let's put it like this. Most of the kids that came to Jackson State came because of him. All right. I know it's some that probably came because they wanted to come, but majority of those kids came because of him. And y'all seen when he when he bolted out, everybody rolled up out of there. They rolled up out of there. They like, shoot, well, this ain't nothing gonna happen right here. Yes, R. Baylor's that SWAC teleconference week 3 exposed him because when he said he was in Colorado, should have been clear cut dry day. He already knew what was going on. They did not fire Carl Dorrell until October the 15th. Deion went up to Colorado on October the 1st. He knew where his mind was at. They just had to it's like Pretty Woman. They just had to show him around town and show him how they do business and stuff like that. Come on now. You can't play with fools like you can't play with us like that. So I just want to put that out there. But then when when you said like I said, like you're gonna get that backlash because you jumped out. It's like you ran up out of there. You ran up out of there. Like I said, you saw the first pretty girl and you was like, whoop, gotta go. Gotta go. Like it, it's just like one of my favorite TV shows, The Boondocks. And what Riley said, that is not gangster, gangstalicious. That is not gangster, Deion. Come on now. That's it. That's it. So uh so man, but the way that the media and especially white media, that was they went in and they did not hold back. Like I think they wanted those guys where they was talking. They wanted him to succeed at Jackson State. They wanted him to be the guy there for a very long time, and he did not go. He did not. To me, I just feel like he did not fulfill on his promise. That's all I say. But other than that, man, um, we can always talk about, we can always talk about those guys that didn't get a chance to get drafted, to get their names called out. Guess what's about to happen, y'all? They are going to their first rookie OTA, which I think it starts sometime this weekend or next week in certain franchises. I know the Cowboys, I think they start next week. So I'll probably see a good old influx of people come in. Good see an influx of people come in that's different. They ain't never been to Dallas, but you'll see it. But guess what? Now these guys get to go out there and prove themselves and still get paid. They're going to go out there to try to prove themselves. Uh, Let me see what we got up in the chat. We got 111 people in the chat. Make sure that we get 111 likes. Let's see what we got. Go through before we roll up out of here. Oh my goodness! Wow, I'm looking at all these. Uh-oh. Jordan. Yeah, I thought he was going to be at JSU for a long time because he started to compare himself to Penny Hardaway, the Memphis basketball coach. Nah, I can't. See, on that note right there, he could not compare himself to Penny Hardaway because Penny is Memphis born, Memphis bred. Penny is all the way Memphis. And I don't think Penny is going nowhere anytime soon other than University of Memphis. So I don't see him being like that. He shouldn't have, that was a bad comparison to be honest with you. I'm not saying you said that, but I know he said that. But that was a bad comparison. Now, if it was somebody like if TC is like that, yeah, I could say TC like that, yes. Like Penny is all the way Memphis. Hold on. Oh Jesus, Miss Mary, come on now. Oh Jesus, come on, Miss Mary. But yeah, I that's a nice comparison. Deion was a commercial. He wasn't a series. That's a nice analogy right there. That is a nice analogy. Uh, Now this is, like I said, this is something that you're gonna find out that Shiloh is a Jackson State graduate. So either way it goes, uh, the Sanders family has one graduate from the illustrious Jackson State University, which is Shiloh Sanders. And Shiloh moves to the beat of his own drum. I'm gonna say it just like that. Uh, yes, Mr. Bayless, yes, I agree with you right there. The whole point for him to get that first signing class, reason why he said what he said after that spring season with when they lost to Alabama A&M, and Connor Maynard was like, you gotta go get some more 5 stars, right? So, it's typical Deion fashion. He went try to go get some 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, it don't matter. He tried to go out there and get some dogs to prove a point to folks in the conference. I think that was what was going on. Also, he knew with the team he had in the spring, he wasn't gonna get too many draft picks out of that anyway. I'm not saying they was bad. Yeah, some diamonds in the rough. Al Young for one. You had Keontae Hampton. He had a couple of diamonds in the rough, but he had to get that first recruiting class to come in, or those grad transfers, really the grad transfers to come in to try to get that program, to try to turn the program around in 1 year and say, yeah, I did it just like this. That's the reason why. That's the reason why he got on that phone with TCU on his damn deathbed. Like, look, you see what I'm doing. Said the whole point was for that first signing class to have some draft picks and making his sons HBCU grads. That was an incomplete mission, and folks should know that. Now, Mr. Bayless, the only mission that was completed was Shiloh getting that degree. I'm not saying I'm not giving Prime credit for working with the HBCUs, but what did he do for other HBCUs? He really didn't do anything for them. the sweat was already moving forward before he even got hired. And I believe you, Lando. LT was the reason he got that TCU interview. I believe you. I believe it. But I felt like they were going to go in another direction. I really knew they were going. In a sense, when I seen that, I think they was going to go into the direction of Sonny Dice because he's number across town. I don't think he could even pitch a draft pick for HBCU anyway now since he's gone to Colorado. I don't think he can. I don't think he can pitch that anymore. You had no reason to pitch that. Let's just say like this: if Shador and Travis and a couple of other players would have had stayed at Jackson State and finished their years at Jackson State and got into the draft, and maybe they was drafted. Let's just say they weren't drafted they wasn't drafted high, let's say 3rd, 4th, 5th round. You know what I'm saying? Something just like that. He could go and say, yeah, I recruited them. I recruited them. People are look, I recruited them and they got drafted. But the main thing is you want them to get degrees too. Gotta get the degrees. Gotta get the degrees. So that was the main thing. That was the main thing about that. And I really yep, he had you right, Lando. He had a relationship with Zach Evans, hit the trip. Yep. He wanted, and that's the reason why he wanted him to come to Jackson State too. But he went to Ole Miss, and it was where it was at. And that's what I'm saying. In contrary, you're right. He didn't do it. What did he do for Alcorn? He suggested that, hey, we need to send some trainers down to Alcorn. They ain't got no trainers. But as soon as he opened his mouth, I think the athletic department for Alcorn was like, look, we need trainers down here because we cannot practice. We can't do too much in anything. We only got 1 or 2. And you know what I'm saying? They was cool. They was set. They ain't have to worry about that. I don't even think Prime even did anything for that. He just said something. It was like, we're gonna send some people down there, but like, no, you only send like 1 or 2 if you're not doing anything. I mean, when you saying like, well, we need to be on ESPN 1 and 2 and stuff like that, I mean, your name alone, can get you on ESPN 2, but shit, you was on ESPN Plus, ESPN 3. You know what I'm saying? We could have been on HBCU Go. We could have been on HBCU League Pass Plus, but it's all some other stuff that's going on with that. I don't understand. But he didn't do nothing for other HBCUs. He didn't help out North Carolina Central. He didn't go out there and help out A&T. He didn't go out there and help out Prairie View, Valley, other than try to see what they could do with where they practice at and stuff like that. He didn't do nothing, most of that. He didn't do nothing for a Grambling. He didn't have to worry about going down to Baton Rouge to Southern. And then with the other little small, let's say with the small HBCUs, he didn't do nothing for like a Tougaloo, which is in North Jackson. He didn't do anything for Russ College. He didn't do nothing for a Dillard Texas. He didn't do nothing. He only did it for part Jackson State, and the rest basically was himself. That was it. And we was out. You correct. We was already on ESPN. Jackson State track. Oh, you know what? Jackson State track. I seen some highlights. I seen not some highlights. I ain't see the highlights, but I seen I read some in certain field events, certain races. I think some of the majority of the guys and ladies went. They pretty much are going to the finals, which finals is tomorrow. So, but they're doing good. From what I'm hearing, they're doing good down there this weekend. Y'all are tripping in the chat. And well, I think you said the track. I know the track team is doing good down in Prairie View for the SWAC championship. The actual track, they took off that very old track. They took out that very old track, which is a good thing right there. I can't even call it. Shout out to Miss Brenda, Miss Coleman. Shout out to you. Shout out for the $10 donation. Shout out for the $10 donation on Cash App. Make sure we get it going on with Cash App donations. Thank you. Will they offer me that big bag? Will I stay? What comes with that big bag, Russell? Hey, let's make sure, people. Let's make sure we got some day ones. I'm trying to be in the chat. That's in the chat. We got some day ones that's in the chat right now. So, let's not push them out. So, let's be cool, but let's not push them out. If anybody wants to say something, let's keep it going, because I want my people to be real and be honest with me. But if the ones that you see that's acting a fool in the chat, make sure that you push their ass out. Bishop, you know what's that on my head, man. Don't even play me. You know what's on my head. Bro, who's jetting out? If somebody threw me a fat ass bag, you don't know how I roll, man. You don't know how I roll on that. You don't know how I roll. You gotta understand. Like, some people have conscience. Some people have, they have morals, they have beliefs. Just because you throw a fat ass bag at me don't mean I'm gonna just go out. No. Tony Gray was signed by the Edmonton Elks of the CFL. All right, Tony. That's a good fit for him being up in Canada, man. That'll be a good fit. He'll enjoy it up there. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ain't nobody, you throw a bag at me, but I ain't gonna sell my soul for a bag. I can't do that. But congratulations to Tony Gray, man, getting that CFL deal, man. All right, now it's time to go put in the work. Put them in the work and let the NFL know why they missed out on you. But yeah, let's see. I know this next on Monday. You said how different is the CFL rules from American-based football? Well, for one, CFL, you only have 3 downs to get your first down. I mean, 3 downs instead of 4. They do a lot of motion and so it's pretty much CFL is pretty much offensive based. It's offensive based, but they've been around for a long time. They've been around for a long time. Yep, bigger field also. Yeah, so they have the 110 yards instead of 100 yards. The scoring, you still score touchdowns, you get field goal, but there's one score is called a rouge, and I'm trying to figure out. Oh man, Mr. Brother Picard, let me go ahead and send you that link. Yep, and you could be moving on offense. So if you're a receiver, now in a sense, you kind of have to get set for a second, but you can actually move. But it's kind of crazy. The Arena Football League does that also, especially with their receivers going into motion and everything. All right, man. We got my guy, Brother Bakari. What's going on?
What's up, Doc? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, brother.
What's going on? Hey,
I'm good.
I want to come here and say, I hear these people in the chat, not him, of course, I see him, asking you if you would take that money. And somebody responded, and I was going to say, that's a very unfair question. Are you making millions of dollars? So
no.
to ask you, that's what I'm saying, to ask you if you would take the bag. But everybody don't take the bag. Some people clearly stand on morals and values. Some people stand on building my people up, helping my people is more important than the money the money they can give me, right? Because what people don't understand, like they really, I ain't gonna say don't want Deion, but I'm gonna say don't want Deion. They want him out the way. They didn't truly want him because wouldn't nobody hire him before Jackson State, right?
Correct.
They just don't want him to be talking about building and doing something for black folk. So what do you do? What do you give a narcissist? What do you give somebody who have to be in I need this money. So let's say we're gonna give him something more. We can pay him much more than Jackson State, right?
Right.
So now you can get him in the house. what they did, they wanted him out the way. I learned that from the time when I was when I was a little boy. You understand? My pops taught me that from the time when I was a little boy. I was born in 72. I would ask my pops, why
Right.
didn't you take this job here? Why didn't you know the other night on your panel, Mr. McKinnis, right? He told you who I was, right? Who my folks were, but anyway, who my pops were, right?
Yeah.
So, and I asked the pop,
Charles Ayers.
no, not Charles, Jake asked. They got yeah. So I asked, that's the who sued state of Mississippi for that and won, and HBCU started getting money. Yeah, right. So I asked my pops, why didn't he take the money in New York? Because he had offered in the late 60s. He was offered 6 figures in the late 60s. I said, why didn't you go? You know, you young, you want money. You know, I'm thinking about, ooh, I could have had these toys. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, he said, they didn't want me. He said, they want me out the way. I like, what you mean? He was like, as soon as they closed down the HBC, as soon as they closed down these black colleges in Mississippi, I would have been in New York without a job. They didn't want me. They just wanted a person who was going to stand up to them. And basically, that is something I would say Deion didn't understand. And the DDRs, they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, and it's unfair for them to ask you that.
Yeah. I mean, but you know, like I said, like that's why I say when it comes down to, you know, you saying I'm gonna get a bag if they throw money at me, threw a bag at me, would I leave? I'm like, you know, nah, I really can't say that, you know, because you got to understand too when you say throw a bag, like what does it come with? What does throwing me a bag come with? You get what I'm saying? Like that if you just throwing me a bag just to get me up out of there, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen because I have morals, I have principles. I think every man and woman should have some type of morals and principles. And that's what they should stand on. So, if let's just say, I'm gonna say for example, if Hardy Pelt, that's Urban Edge Network, y'all threw me a bag and say, give up all stuff like that, give this up, come join the team, and we'll make you a star. I don't think I will ever. I can't do that. I can't do that because I spent a great amount of time building up this platform right here. Now, if he say like, look, you can come join us over here at Urban Edge Network, and you keep your channel, you keep what you doing right here, and we throw you a bag, that's something different because now he's saying that because I put in we put in the work where I probably had like 4 people on the live, and me and Brian and Sean and me and Mike, we arguing about we arguing with just 4 people in the chat. And I can say that it took me a minute. It took me a minute to get, you know what I'm saying, to where we at right now. So and it's my platform. It's my platform. I don't want to be fake. I don't think I could be fake. I don't think I could play that role to be fake. But the car year?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So you know what happened when you end up when they ask him about the bag, you end up taking the bag, right?
Yeah.
So you end up losing control. So let me give you an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
What his name? Bucky. He did all JSU stuff, right?
Right.
He went to Colorado and was fired in 1 week. So you lose. Now that came from his. Somebody was showing that came from his Twitter account. So you lose control of yourself, chasing somebody else bag.
And guess what though, Bakari? You ain't got to worry about you ain't got to worry about working for Colorado because his channel by itself is booming just because his who his father is.
Yes, of course. But right, what he said, anything on Colorado campus, and the only point that I was making, right, was how you lose control of yours. So now anything that he filmed on Colorado campus, he got to run by their people, so they could say it's okay because he, according to him, they said he didn't fit their image. What he was portraying didn't fit their image. And I'm not knocking him, but what I'm saying is when they asking you about taking a bag, right?
Uh-huh.
When they're asking you about taking a bag, do you take the bag and lose control of something that you have, or like you say, something that you built, something that you're still building? Because where you at right now is nothing compared to where you're gonna be in a year or two from now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then why give up control of what you have for somebody else, dollars, and then they control you? That's just my take on it though. And on that, man, I'm gonna get off. I just wanted to get on here and say that about them asking you about them dollars, man.
Nah, you good, man. I like this another one right here. If that bag comes with a price of bringing me more stress and unhappiness, I don't want that shit. Is it worth it? No, it ain't worth it. I don't want that. I do not want that. I don't want that stress. I don't want this. I don't want that stress. I don't want none of that stuff right there. I don't want none of that stuff. If hold on, before we get to it, man, we got 141 people in here on the chat that's watching this show, that's watching this live. Make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you comment and share with the people. Subscribe to the channel. We do have two tiers for the channel. HBC Overdrive Purple and Overdrive Blue. You get everything exclusive. You get all the stuff. You get to participate with the polls. You know when I go live, pictures, everything. You get all that exclusively with HBCU Overdrive. Now, I will give you a big shout out to my guy HBCU Band Talk, and he hit me up earlier today while I was at work, and he sent me this. This is a script. And I'm gonna read what it said though. I'm gonna read what it says. It's on my phone, y'all. So basically, I'm gonna do a script. This is what it came out. It said, "Welcome back to HBCU Overdrive, the channel that's all about HBCU sports and culture. I'm your guy, Doc Holliday, and today we're talking about two of the most exciting conferences in college sports, the SWAC and the MEAC, and I do cover that. Just let y'all know. Some people say I just only cover Jackson State. I cover the SWAC and the MEAC. I've covered SIAC, CIAA. It doesn't matter. If it got a black college to it, I'm covering it. Now, here's my disclaimer. Now, I may be a Jackson State University Tiger through and through, but that does not mean I cannot appreciate all the amazing HBCUs out there. From Alabama A&M to North Carolina A&T, these schools have produced some of the best athletes, scholars, and leaders in the country. And speaking of leaders, let's talk about the growth of this channel. This is where I got teary-eyed for a second. We started with humble beginnings, and we did, y'all. I started this channel with 11 subscribers, y'all. And I don't even think half those 11 was real subscribers. I just think they was, we friends, follow me, follow back. Just a few fans tuning in to hear my thoughts on HBCU sports, but over time, we built a community of passionate fans who share our love for these amazing institutions. Now, we are a force to be reckoned with in the YouTube space when it comes to HBCU content. We've got exclusive interviews with coaches, players, and alumni, as well as in-depth coverage of all the biggest games and events. And remember, I did that, y'all. I ain't got the type of equipment like Blue Man do, but you know what I'm saying? I could go live inside of a damn stadium and bring you my analysis before the game even starts. So whether you're a fan of the SWAC, the MEAC, or any other HBCU conference, you come to the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and join our community of HBCU Overdrive fans. Thank you for watching. That kind of took me right there. Because I was thinking about it, y'all, and I was like literally, I started out with 11 people. And I didn't go live, y'all. Remember, I didn't go live till June, like June, July. I didn't go live till then. And I didn't know how it was going to be when I went live. I didn't know how it was going to be when I went live. But when I went live, like, I want people to understand. I want people to understand this. MEAC Mike is my guy. MEAC Mike is my guy, and he's been down from the beginning since I started this channel, y'all. Brian was my very first co-host for the channel. And we talked about football all night, every night. Mr. Ford talked to Mr. Ford on our script, talked to him on Swag Buzz, even on Kobe's Bliss City podcast, and Blue. But when he comes on this show, it brings out, it gives us the insight from what he saw in the 70s, in the 60s. I don't say too much anything. I just shut up and listen. I don't say nothing, y'all. I listen. I listen to that man. That's the reason why that evening I got upset about whoever said something about Mr. Ford. And I got upset and I was like, don't ever disrespect that man like that. Not on my platform. Not on my platform. That man has been a godsend to me. And I don't think with him, if he was not on this show, I don't even think I had probably like over 1,600 people that's members of this channel. Like, I don't say nothing. That man speaks, I say nothing. I get Zoe on here. You know, Zoe with Tiger Talk. You know what I'm saying? He with Ken Clark. But when he come on here and he talk Jackson State from when he grew up in the 80s, I say nothing. I listen to that man right there. I say that. I just listen. I listen to them talk about my alma mater and how it was back in the 80s. I didn't see that. I didn't start going towards HBCUs until 91, 92. Like I said, my aunt is a proud graduate of Prairie View A&M University. I didn't start talking about seeing Grambling until I watched a Bayou Classic. And I was living in California at the time. I was living in Oakland. So coming back to Dallas, I get to go to the State Fair Classic. And I get to see all I get to see the man who shoot. I know this. I know Marino Chasm was called the Godfather for a second, but the real Godfather was Eddie Robinson for Grambling. That was the real Godfather right there. And I got to see him. I got to see him coach every freaking year. Every year at that State Fair Classic. And just looking at the players that they had and hearing the band and stuff, Like that what drew me to being at for HBCU. And then to get to go to one when I chose Jackson, it was a hard sell. I chose Jackson over Prairie View. It's like I really, really, really appreciate everything that has come to me, y'all. Like truly. But it's been some times where in my life I've came close to not wanting to be here. And I just want people to know, look, I suffer from depression. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from mood disorders. But I don't let those ailments deter me from doing what I love. I love doing this. I love doing this. Like I'll be at work and I can try to figure out what the hell I'm gonna talk about today. And then when I get home and I turn on this ring light, I open up this laptop, I turn this soundboard on, and I put these headphones on. I other than smoking my cigars, on here I'm at peace. I'm at total peace. I'm at so much peace. Like y'all just don't understand, man. When I get to see people come on here, and y'all remember we only had four. It was 4 people on my live almost every other day, and I was doing this every freaking day. 4 people. Then it grew to like 10, 12, 13, 15, 20. Keith, the light always gonna shine. It's always gonna shine. Um, once at one time I did that Tennessee State game because nobody couldn't find it on YouTube, and it was on Facebook, and I broadcasted that, and we had 4,000 people watch that game. We had over 400 people in the chat. The night that we talked about the SWAT championship game, had over 600 people in the chat, and it was, I was like, you know what? If I'm good at this, man. I'm good at this. I'm good at embroidery. I'm good at being a selling. I'm good at managing. But I feel like I'm freaking great when it comes to this. Like I feel like I'm great when it comes to this. And then I talked to Ken. You know, he was one of my if people don't understand, he was one of my interviews. You got to go back. That's when I wasn't doing live. I was doing it on Zoom. He was one of my interviews, y'all. Go back to it. He was one of my interviews. I jump on it, and when he got it to the space, and I jump on there, like, man, look, we can help each other out. I help you out, you help me out. You know, I got on the channel and with him, and I told him, like, look, I'm only like 30-some people away from being at 1,000, where we can monetize this thing. And and we crowd surf we crowd surfed the whole thing, and I ended up soon. I just got home that night, and um and I told Ken, look, man, we only 30 people away, and next thing you know, boom, I got 1,000. Boom, it started 1,100. Man, it's like I don't know. I don't think I could miss. And then, let me finish. Before we finish, shout out to Miss Gloria, Miss Minnie. Shout out to you for the $25 donation to the channel. I appreciate it. We appreciate you over here, and we appreciate you coming back and tuning in every time I go on live. And like Miss Mary, Ken is unselfish. He loves Jackson State. I love Jackson State too. I love all my HBCU. That's the main thing. I love all my institutions. But just having that blue and white with some red accent, it just looked good on you. That what I'm saying, that block looked good on it. But yeah, man, it just having people come on, having getting players to come on. Y'all know, if you look on my thing, I did an interview with former players from Alcorn that was a volleyball that was coached by Coach Lucas. They gave me their testimony. They told their story. Had y'all know this year had the athletic director from Chicago State talking about the possibility of bringing football. Having it says Guthrie on the show, especially yesterday, and the other 2 times he was on, was a godsend. Having Batman Mitchell on the show 3 times was a godsend. Even did a show I think I did with Coach Morgan, Toriano Morgan from Edward Waters. Like it just a lot of people just I had to go and reach out to some of these people, and I don't want to become a fanboy and be like, man, I'm like it. Like, shoot, I want to interview Hugh Jackson. I want to interview TC Taylor. I want to interview Eddie George. Hell, I've been trying to get Eddie George to come on this damn show for the longest. Hell, I'd rather get Connor Maynard. Try to get Isaiah Bolden, try to get Aubrey Miller. I've been trying to get a lot of people onto the show to interview it. Just not even just to have an interview, but to have a casual conversation. That's the main thing. To have a casual conversation. It's not even just an interview. Interview, you asking questions and they're answering. Having a conversation, you're actually talking to them. You're actually talking to her instead of treating them like an employee. You're actually talking to her like a real person. Yes, Ms. Green. I'll make sure. But I but I was at I'm gonna be honest with you. I was at a dark time in my life. Especially during COVID. COVID. Yeah, when COVID came, like I couldn't stand being in quarantine by myself. And the people just gotta understand. I just moved back here to Dallas from Corsicana. I had recently just got divorced. Um, I was with I was away from my youngest daughter, and it hurt. It ate me up. It did a number on me, and that's I decided like to do try to do a podcast, a YouTube podcast, and I'm gonna give credit where it's credit is due because if it wasn't, I'm gonna be honest with you, if it wasn't for Scotty, uh, Oscar going on his show and calling it on his show and stuff like that, and just watching and see how he move and stuff. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing this. So I give credit where it's credit is due. Now, why I won't give credit is I won't give credit to some clown shit because I don't do that clown shit. I don't do shit for shit. I don't do nothing like this for shits and giggles. If we gonna talk real, we gonna talk real. We gonna have fun in here. We gonna have fun in here. We do that all the time. But Miss Cole, I don't do that clown shit. I don't do that clown shit for clicks and bass and nothing like that. That ain't me. I can't do it. I can't do it. I will never be like that. And if you don't know, if my mama was on here in the chat, she would tell you she'd be like, she would go by my government name. She'd be like, David, don't do that clown shit. She'd be like, my son don't do that. My son is he gonna look at you crazy and he gonna keep it moving. But I don't do that clown shit though. You can say somebody go tell him whatever I said on here. Oh well, this is my shit right here. This is my channel. I don't tell him how to run his stuff. We keep it funky. We keep it 100 in here. I don't do drama. I don't do drama. I don't do controversy. I don't do none of that stuff. So anybody want to go back and tell him or whoever I put out there, you tell them they can call me. They can hit me up on Facebook. They can hit me up on Twitter. I don't do that clown shit. But like I said, if it wasn't for him in the beginning for what he did, I wouldn't be doing this space. I wouldn't be in this space right here. I'm gonna keep it a buck with everybody. I wouldn't be it. Nah. I wouldn't even be talking about HBCU sports. I'd be talking about sneakers and stuff. I'm a sneakerhead, I'm a sneakerhead. When you talk to a dude that owns about 100 pairs of sneakers, half of them J's, I'll probably talk about that. I was gonna talk about that, but I had to I had to kind of reset. I told my best friend for 20 years. She like, this is what you want to do? I'm like, yeah. And thank you, it's all good. I went and got my microphone and my ring light and try to get a camera and stuff like that. And then, like I said, life took a shift. So it took a shift and I had to focus on another thing. But I never said I wasn't gonna do it. I just had to shift. I had to refocus. And then last year when, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but I'm gonna do it. And I went through my YouTube and pretty much scrubbed everything out, started from scratch. Miss Mary, I'm actually in Valley Ranch in Irving, y'all. I think that's about the realest you done said right there. That's about the realest thing you done said. But yeah. He do what he do. And I'm giving credit where credit is due. He be on this stuff. I just don't do the clown stuff, man. I can't. I cannot. And if you think I'm on that clown stuff, you just point it right to the door. And when Miss Lady Holiday in the chat, hey, she's on different. She could be on 1,000. Yeah, hold on now. We got Mr. Ford in here. Willie, I'm a Libra, man. What's going on, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing good. We was
Yeah.
talking about media backlash, and then I kind of got into my feelings for a second, but I was like,
Yeah, I heard some of the feelings. I didn't hear the backlash, but I heard some.
we was talking about the media backlash from the draft, what they said with Prime and everything. With
What are they saying now?
I don't know. It was from a couple of days ago. The white, the Crane and Company. Yeah, they had a thing and basically called him a hypocrite.
Oh, they called Prime a hypocrite?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of got my feelings, and I was like, man, I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, my first co-host is Brian, but he be, he at work most of the time, and
right.
Yeah, Sean, he be in the chat sometime, and then when you came on, I was like, yeah, you talk about football with 4 people in the chat room.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You remember Sheridan Broadcasting? That was back in the 70s and 80s.
I remember.
You remember that Sheridan Broadcast?
Uh-huh.
They used to keep us abreast of black college football when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy. He used to always do the show, and they would have, like you said, they have rankings, and they would tell us like Jackson State's playing Southern University in the night, and we would be listening. Usually they would come on a FM black station, around the country, and I just wonder what happened to them. And that was back in the 70s and 80s.
But the Sheridan, I actually remember they did our polls too. So
okay.
Remember they also crowned our national champion in football.
Okay.
HBCU Black National Poll. Yeah, I remember that.
And you remember Jet magazine?
Oh yeah, I remember
Jet. Big Jet was always big with black college sports. We would see pictures of football games like in Jackson and Dallas and New Orleans, and then we would see pictures of all of the conference basketball. We would see pictures of the CIAA, the SWAC championship, the MEAC championship. So I just, I wish our media could come. I mean, the people like you, the podcasters, are bringing us back, but I wish we could have those. So is Jet? Is it just totally gone, or what's going on with Jet?
I don't know. Jet totally gone. I think it's still around, if I'm not mistaken. I think my guy Ronald Hunt, he could probably tell me if it's still around. I know people we talked about. I know we had talked about it at one point in time.
Right. What about Ebony? Is Ebony totally gone, or are they digit? What's up with them?
Ebony should not be totally gone. Ebony should be rocking.
Yeah, because that's how we kept up. Ebony would always do articles about different black colleges. They would do like the CIAA tournament, the Bayou Classic, the Boombox, the Classic the big one in Birmingham. They would have pictures about that, and we always learn so much from Ebony magazine. I'm just wondering. I know after his name was John H. Johnson. I know he died, and I know his wife died. Because another thing that was real big, and I know you remember this, Doc. Remember the Ebony Fashion Fair? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was really big back in the 70s and 80s too. They would, you know, they do the fashion stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to say Ebony and Jet, they're digital now, so there's no more bringing out the magazine.
The magazines, right? So that's over.
Mm-hmm. So they went.
Yeah. Now that fashion fair is over too, right? That's gone forever, right? Remember they used to have the Ebony Fashion Fair? That was 70s, 80s, maybe a little bit of the 90s. It was Mr. John H. Johnson's wife, his Miss Eunice Johnson. She was basically the mastermind behind that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was really big.
I would say I was born in '79, so
yeah, hey, that was big. I think it went into the 80s, maybe into the. Check the chat and see what anybody say anything about it, because I know y'all remember the Ebony Fashion Fair. Because they would come to Atlanta, they would be at the Fox Theater, and they would, you know, bring out the models with the clothing, and it was a big thing. It was a really big thing.
I ran into the '90s because I remember my cousin. She was a graduate at Grambling.
Right.
And said she works with the UNCF.
Right.
She used to date. She was telling me about that. And I'll say this too. Other than my aunt, that's a Prairie View graduate. She was my cousin that went to Grambling. She was one that kind of steered me into going to HBCU also. So it wasn't nothing like where I just had all these other schools. Like, because I'll be honest with people, y'all. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Ford. Not when I filled out, I'm gonna tell you, I filled out all my college applications. I didn't have no University of Texas. I didn't have no Texas A&M. I didn't have no Oklahoma. I didn't have not one PWI school other than Arizona State that I was looking at to go to school at. I had one school that was I had another PWI on my thing it was a private liberal college in a liberal arts college in Iowa, Cole College. I wasn't going up there. I don't think I could go up there. I don't think I can't deal with the snow. So I don't think I could do too much anything like that. But if you I'd say like this, you went on if you watched the interview I did with Put It On Something, you will see you will hear the choices that I had. But my final choices was North Carolina A&T. So Russell, there's your MEAC comparison right there. Florida A&M, which was still in the MEAC at the time. That was another comparison. That's who I filled out application for, got accepted in. Prairie View, A&M, Arizona State, Jackson State. And those are the only two. Those are the schools that I filled out for, and I got accepted into, and that was really pretty much it, man. Man, better LB. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate the donation, man. There you go. All right. There.
Is that me? Is me? Am I on twice?
Yeah, I took you off.
Okay, good.
Nah, you good. Now, I was saying the 5 schools that I had.
Right. Yeah.
So like I said, I didn't have too many PWIs that I looked at, other than Arizona State and Cole College, which was private, in Iowa. And I was like, I can't go to Iowa. I don't think I could deal with the snow.
Right.
in Arizona State. I had a scholarship, but it was a partial scholarship, and the out-of-state fees was out of this world.
So did you visit? You visited Arizona State,
Yeah,
and that's Tucson or Tempe.
Tempe.
Tempe, right?
Son is University of Arizona.
Right. Now, when I was growing up, Arizona State was one of the few major colleges that played black athletes. The coach was a guy named Frank Bush.
Yeah.
And they played black athletes. One of them was J.D. Dio. And the other one was named Woody Green. And they played with your boy, Danny White.
Oh, yeah, Danny.
Yeah, I remember them.
So, yeah, but like I told people, my final choices were North Carolina A&T.
Right.
I don't see how I got them, but they was on my I was on their radar for some reason. FAMU.
Oh yeah, me too. I was FAMU.
I could have went down to FAMU.
Yeah.
I could have went down to FAMU.
Yeah.
And my cousin was gonna be she was gonna go there. Well, she went there.
She was from Dallas?
She was from Dallas. She went to FAMU. She graduated high school in 1998.
Now, Doc, I told you, I actually saw Jake Gator. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I saw Jake Gator. That's when they could run over people. They would just crucify. And the only somebody could really deal with him was Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, FAMU was one. Prairie was my other choice, and that was because of the Marching Storm. They wanted me to play. My aunt wanted me to go there and play in a band there. But I told her I gotta go to a school where they win with it football.
Now, Doc, did you know about Kenny Houston when you were growing up?
Yeah, my uncle used to tell me about both.
Yeah, okay. Because he was big time, man. Yeah, Houston Oilers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I said it, Mr. Ford. Ain't too many Oilers fans in my family. We all Cowboys fans.
Oh, y'all are Cowboys.
We all Cowboys fans.
Now you go back with Roger Staubach or you Danny White?
Well, Roger Staubach left in '79, so
that's right.
One. So my recollection is all Danny White, and then after Danny, you had Troy Aikman come in.
Right, I remember Troy Aikman.
And then
now see, when I was a kid, they had Craig Morton. Did they ever tell you about Craig Morton?
Granny used to tell me about Craig Morton and Don Meredith.
Yeah, see, I didn't really see Don. I saw Craig Morton. His name was Dan Reeves. He was a player coach.
Yeah, Dan Reeves.
That's right. Now Dan left Dallas and went to Denver, and he took Craig Morton with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle used to tell me that. My older uncles told me all that. Like my granny when she was still living, she loved Don Meredith.
Okay.
She loved Don Meredith, and then Roger Staubach made her a real true fan.
Oh yeah. Now do you remember Jethro Pugh?
Jethro Pugh, yeah, I remember the name. I watched him play a little bit.
Right. Okay. Now he was from Elizabeth City State.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's all right there. So when you say Jethro Pugh and Rayfield Wright
that's right.
And then Billabong Hayes in the 60s.
Yeah, that's right. I remember Mel Renfro, and it was a guy named Herb Adderley.
Yeah.
You remember them?
Herb Adderley went to FAMU.
Wait a minute. Herb Adderley went to FAMU?
He didn't go to FAMU. I thought he went somewhere else.
Yeah, he didn't go to FAMU. No, he's not FAMU. Now, Mel Renfro, I think, was from the West Coast, wasn't it?
Mel Renfro.
Where was Mel Renfro from? He was a corner. He wore 20.
Let me see.
Herb Adderley had come in from the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, because Herb is the defensive back.
Right. Now, where did he go to school?
Let me see. I'm looking at Mel Renfro.
I think Mayer was from Oregon.
Yeah, he from Oregon. So
Okay, where was Herb from?
Herb.
Was it Arkansas or somewhere in Arkansas?
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Okay. Yeah. Now you remember Cliff Harris and Charlie, the guy he came there as a quarterback from Clemson.
Cliff
Harris and that other safety. What was his name?
Charlie Waters.
Charlie Waters. He was from Clemson.
Yeah, those. Now those two was my mama's favorite right there.
Yeah, them guys was tough, man. See, wait a minute. Charlie Waters originally came up as a corner and was getting blitzed, and they made him a safety.
To disguise his.
And no one of the people that was killing him, a guy named Harold Jackson from Jackson State.
I knew
that who was blitzing was killing him, man. But at that time, very few people in the league could match up with Harold Jackson. See, it's really a shame that Harold Jackson is not in the Hall of Fame. It's a shame. You know, I'm telling you about Otis Taylor, but Harold Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Cliff Harris from Washita Baptist.
Oh, he didn't go to Clemson?
No, Cliff Harris.
Oh, Cliff Harris. Okay. Now, where did Waters go?
Washita Baptist in I think that's Arkansas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's in Arkansas. That's NAIA, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, where did Charlie Waters go?
Clemson. You're right. He went to Clemson.
I think he was a quarterback. I think he was the quarterback at Clemson. Because he originally came to Dallas, they tried to make him a corner.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, Harold Jackson then was killing him.
You're right. He was a quarterback.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. Yeah.
He was a quarterback, and then they moved him to receiver, and then they brought him. Then he got drafted as a DB.
Yeah, I remember him. He was 41, I think. Was it 41?
His number?
Yeah. What was Charlie Waters' number?
41.
Yeah, 41. That was called the Doomsday Defense.
That was the real Doomsday Defense.
Bob, you remember Bob Lilly?
Bob, yeah.
Leroy Jordan, Chuck Howley.
Mm-hmm.
D.D. Lewis.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Let's see now. It was Bob Lilly and Jeffro Pugh were in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think who were the ends. Who was the ends at that time?
Right. We talking about the Doomsday Defense for the 60s.
Yeah, right. And they came into this. Oh, now they also started calling it the flex defense. That man was named Dick Nolan that designed that defense. He left Dallas and went to the San Francisco 49ers.
And Tom Landry just ran with it.
Yeah. He called it the flex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's your first Doomsday Defense. This is the 60s, y'all. Willie Towns and Larry Cole, Jethro Pugh,
right,
and Bob Lilly.
Yeah, I remember Cole too. I remember Cole.
George Andre Pat Toomey.
I remember Pat Toomey.
Uh-huh. And then linebackers Chuck Howley,
Leroy Jordan,
Dave Edwards, and D.D. Lewis.
Because I remember Leroy Jordan played for Bear Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Leroy came from Alabama.
Then Cornell Green.
Yeah, I remember. Now he was a corner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a corner.
Mike Gaither, Charlie Waters.
I remember Charlie.
Adderley. and Cliff Harris.
Yeah,
That's
Cliff.
part 2 right there. So that's 2. That's part 2. So
Cliff
that's
was 43, right? What was his number?
43.
43. Yeah, I remember Cliff.
Yeah, 43 and 41 was roaming that backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Two safeties. Yeah.
yep. Now this is Doomsday 2, y'all. Like I said, I'm a Cowboys fan. Harvey Martin.
Harvey Martin was awesome.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
No, he
should be in there. He should be in there. He was awesome. Nobody could block him.
Oh, yeah, and he's Harvey Martin went to South Oak Cliff. So
Yeah, he was awesome.
he stayed at home. He ain't had to go nowhere.
Right. Where did he go to college?
East Texas.
Okay.
Larry Cole, John Dutton.
John Dutton was from Nebraska. He came from the Baltimore Colts.
Randy White.
Randy White came from Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah. He played for a guy named Jerry. Man, this guy that he played for had played for Bear Bryant up in Kentucky. They went to the Cotton Bowl against the University of Houston.
Okay.
The coach at the University of Houston was named Bill Yeoman.
Bill Yeoman.
Yeah.
And that veered to perfection.
Yeah, that's right. Wilson Whitley and all was a defensive tackle, went to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Then you had Ed Too Tall Jones.
Came from Tennessee State.
Yep.
Actually was a basketball player at Tennessee State, and they converted him to football. I think he went number 1, right?
Yeah.
Was he the first draft? Was he the first pick of the draft in '74?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember him. See, I remember when he didn't even start at Tennessee State. They had guys better than him.
Mm.
Yeah. One of them was named Joe Turkeyneck Jones. He was from Texas. He played for the Cleveland Browns. You see the highlight when Terry Bradshaw is in convulsions? That was done to him by Joe Turkey Jones. He was from Tennessee State.
Ooh, I didn't.
Yeah, that was him.
Then on the linebacker, this is Doomsday 2 defense. Mike Hegman.
Mike Hegman was from Tennessee State, I think.
And Hollywood Henderson.
Hollywood was from Langston.
Yep. Bob Brunick,
Bob Brunick, I remember him.
D.D. Lewis is on there. Then
D.D. Lewis, I remember him.
So DBs was Denny Barnes.
Benny Barnes was from Stanford.
Of course, Cliff Harris, Charlie Waters, Michael Downs.
Michael Downs, he was bad. It was a boy at Jackson State we thought was a copy of him named Kevin Dick. We thought he was like Michael Downs. Michael was real tall, but he could do it, man. He could do it.
And I forgot he did graduate. He went to South Oak Cliff too. He was at
where did Michael Downs? What college did he go to?
Rice.
That's right. Michael Downs was bad, man.
Yeah.
Now, you know who Jackson just had? Who kind of reminds me of Michael Downs?
Who?
John Huggins.
Ooh.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of Michael Downs.
Of course, Charlie Waters, Randy Hughes. Yeah. Aaron Kyle.
I remember Aaron was from Wyoming, wasn't he?
Let me see.
Where was Aaron from? He was a corner.
Let me.
I remember Aaron. I think Aaron wore 25.
Yep.
Was he from Wyoming?
Let me see. Yep, you right.
Yeah, I remember Aaron.
And
now you should run across Steve Wilson. He was from Howard University.
Yeah, the quarterback, right?
No, he came as a wide receiver. They converted him to a defensive back. Okay. Dan Reeves took him to Denver with him.
Steve Wilson.
He eventually became one of the youngest coaches in the MEAC. He was 31 years old when he became head coach at Howard. Okay. He was tough. He was something else.
Steve, he won a Super Bowl then. No, he lost a Super Bowl.
Right. He was with Denver, I think. He was
So
with Denver when he went to Super Bowl.
if he would Denver back in John Elway earlier, yeah, he lost Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then the last person on the list on this Doomsday 2 defense was Everson Walls.
Grambling State.
Grambling.
Dallas Tech. He was from Dallas.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna say it like this. Doomsday number 3 to me, that the 1990, I'm gonna put it up. 1993 Dallas Cowboys defense. And the reason why I say this because the mastermind of the whole the mastermind of the whole team was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he was.
Jimmy did not care who you was, but he did treat his players. He treated his players different. A star player different from a person that he know he gonna cut.
And don't forget, one thing you had to have for Jimmy was speed. He didn't really care about size. He wanted speed.
He wanted speed.
He wanted speed all over the field.
So
he would get smaller linebackers, but they had to be able to fly.
Yep. So Tony Casillas on
that's Oklahoma. He came to the Falcons first.
Mm-hmm. Charles
His
Haley.
wife was his agent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his wife was his agent.
Charles Haley.
He made now. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, Charles Haley in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he should be because he was dominant.
I see. It's funny because I'm gonna tell y'all this. I see Charles Haley almost every other day when I'm at work. That's how. That's how he be out. He be out in Dallas like that.
He came to Jackson. Remember they had a video of him.
Yeah, he went
with Jackson football team.
Mm-hmm.
He was awesome. I think he was James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison.
He was something else, man. Because he was actually a 49er first.
Right.
Yeah, he was the truth, man. That dude was the truth.
Jim Jeffcoat.
Jim Michigan State, I think. Wasn't it Michigan State?
Arizona State.
Arizona State. That's right.
Chad Hennings from the Air Force.
Air Force, that's right. Well, was he 95?
Yep.
I remember him.
Jimmy Jones.
Okay, tell me about, was Jimmy a defensive back?
Jimmy Jones was D lineman. He's a defensive tackle.
And he was from where?
He went to University of Miami.
Okay, yeah, I think he was with Leon Letnam.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yep. In fact, that's the next person, Leon Lett.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Nope, he needs to be.
He should be. He was dominant. They only showed the film when he made a mistake with fumbling that ball on Thanksgiving Day. But let me tell you something. That dude was dominant for years, man. He's another one couldn't be blocked. What college did he come from?
He went to Emporia.
That's right. Yeah, he was the truth, man.
Then you got Russell Maryland.
Russell Maryland was from Chicago, went to the University of Miami.
Mm-hmm. And then Tony Tolbert.
I remember him. Now tell me about him.
Tony Tolbert with the UTEP.
Okay, what was his number?
92.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
And he's like third or fourth all time in sacks for the Cowboys in franchise. So yeah,
I remember it.
And that just defensive line. I ain't even got it to the linebackers or the DBs. So the linebackers Dixon Edwards.
Yeah, I remember Dixon. Yeah. He was from what college?
Dixon went to Michigan State.
That's right.
Robert Jones went to
who?
Robert Jones.
Was he Eastern Carolina?
Yep.
I remember him.
I'm playing the NFL too.
Huh?
His son is Zay Jones, the receiver.
Right. I remember Robert. I remember him. Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, his son is Zay Jones. Play for the with the Bills right now. Godfrey Miles.
Now, I remember him. Where did he go to college?
Florida. So
that's right. Yeah, I remember him.
Emmett was teammates.
Huh?
Him and Emmett was teammates.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Ken Norton Jr.
You know, he was USC or UCLA?
USC.
USC, yeah. Where is he now? Because he was somebody's defense coordinator.
UCLA. He was UCLA.
As defense coordinator?
Yep. No, he's a
Yeah.
linebacker coach right now. But he went.
Now, do you remember his dad in the boxing?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember Ken Norton Sr.
That's right. He brutalized Ali one couple of times.
Oh yeah.
He
But
was something else.
he-
Now, you know, his daddy fought Michael Strahan's daddy in the military over in Germany.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Darren Smith.
Was he Miami?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
And I didn't know this dude, Matt Vanderbeek. He went to Michigan State, but he
What was his last name?
Vanderbeek,
What was his number?
91. But he didn't stay.
You got me on him.
Yeah, but he came in, but he got drafted by the Colts before, so he was already in the NFL. He was just there to just fill a spot.
Okay. Okay.
So, and then the DBs, look, Bill Bates. We all
That's
know
Tennessee.
Tennessee got ran over by Herschel
By
Walker.
Herschel Walker. Yeah.
Larry Brown.
Who's that? Larry Brown was from California. He went to Banning or Dorothy. Where'd he go to college?
Yeah, he went to college, TCU.
Yeah, because he's from Los Angeles. He went to either Banning High School or Dorsey High School.
Nah, he said he went to Los Angeles High School.
Oh, he went to Los Angeles?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because he was an MVP one year, right?
He was MVP of the Super Bowl day.
Super Bowl, yeah, that's right. Well, he was 24, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thomas Everett.
I remember Thomas Everett.
Yep.
Was he Texas A&M?
Thomas Everett was Baylor.
Baylor, okay, yeah. What was his number?
27.
That's right, I remember him. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joe Fishback.
I remember Joe.
Uh-huh.
I think he might have came to the Falcons. What was his college? What was his college?
Carson Newman.
That's Division II.
Yeah, he was with the Falcons. He was with the Falcons that 2 years when Deion was there.
That's right. I remember him. Joe Fishback. Yeah.
Kenny Gant.
Kenny Gant played at Albany State. He had a brother play for Grambling, a big running back. Oh, I can't think of his name. They from Florida. From Florida.
Used to call him the Shark.
His brother was named Eric Gant.
That's his brother?
That's his brother. Yeah.
Man.
He would always be at the Bayou Classic to see his brother.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Kenny's brother. Kenny, I saw Kenny at Albany State. Yeah, I saw Kenny at Albany State. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to call him the Shark.
Yeah.
Brock Marion.
Brock, man, I remember him. Now, wait a minute. Tell me about Brock. Brock was from where?
Brock went to Nevada.
Okay, because I remember Brock.
Mm-hmm. So he was with the Cowboys for 5 years. So then he went.
Yeah, I remember Brock.
The Dolphins. So he had a good career with the in the NFL. So I really can't say you really can't say too much bad about him because hell, he made 31 interceptions in his career. So
that was Brock.
Yeah, Brock Marion as a safety. Mm-hmm. Elvis Patterson. I don't know too much about him, but like
what was his name?
Elvis Patterson.
Yeah, I can't. What college? What college?
Kansas.
I do remember Elvis Patterson. Yeah.
And if he went to Yates, so he was yeah.
That's Houston, Texas. That's always Houston. All day, every day.
That's he played. He know how to play football. Shit.
Yeah. I remember when I was at Grambling, we came over to Houston one time. Yates and Madison played in the Houston Astrodome.
Mm-hmm. Then you got Kevin Smith.
I remember Kevin. Now Kevin was from where?
A&M. He went to A&M. He from down there in the Golden Triangle.
Now what was his number?
26.
That's right. I remember him. Yeah.
Dave Thomas. I remember this guy right here.
What was his number?
41.
You got me. What was his name again?
Dave Thomas. He went to Tennessee. But he also played with the Giants, if I'm not mistaken, too.
You got me on that. I don't remember him.
Yeah, he played with the Giants. He played with the Jaguars too. So he wasn't too much in the league that long. James Washington.
He was bad. He was a free safety.
That's the one that went to UCLA.
He was bad. He was about 6'3", 6'4", right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's the one that picked up something and was gonna hit somebody with it, right? Remember, he got in some trouble. He got it was a brawl with somebody, and he picked up an object. But he was bad now. He was bad. I remember him. What was his number?
27.
That's right. Yeah, I remember him.
37.
Yeah. He was like a free safety.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he came in. He took over for Ray Horton when Ray Horton was on the team.
Now Ray went to the Giants, right?
Yeah.
I remember Ray. Yeah, I remember when Ray was with the Giants. Ray then went out. He from the Big Ten. Was he Wisconsin or what's his college?
Ray Horton.
I
think he was. Let me see.
I think he's from the Big Ten.
No, he went to Washington.
Oh, he went to Washington?
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember he played for the Giants. Yeah, I remember he went to the Giants.
And then this person who needs to be in the freaking Hall of Fame from this defense, Darren Woodson.
Yeah, Woodson, bad boy.
Darren Woodson.
Now he was Texas A&M. What was he?
Darren Woodson was Arizona State.
Arizona State. Okay.
State. Okay. He came in as a they converted him from linebacker to strong safety.
Okay. Okay.
So he was a weak side linebacker in college.
Okay.
He needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a bad boy.
He needs.
Now he was an analyst for the NFL or something.
Yeah, with ESPN.
ESPN, that's right. Yeah.
Let it go, and he because he was doing his business. He had his business out here in Dallas.
Yeah, them the glory days you calling out, man. Them were the glory days, boy.
Ooh, I remember Tommy Agee.
Tommy Agee was from Auburn. He ran with Bo Jackson.
Lincoln Coleman.
I remember Lincoln Coleman. Now, was he a running back?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. Now, what college? What college?
He went to Baylor.
That's right. I remember Lincoln. Lincoln was one of the guys they picked up like 2 or 3 weeks before a game or a week before a game.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him.
Lincoln, in fact, Lincoln was down there at Baylor playing with Lachey Maston.
Okay.
And,
okay.
He went. Lachey was Lachey Maston. I remember Lachey Maston was when he recruited from Carter High School was recruited by everybody because he also played. He had also played linebacker too.
Right.
In high school, but yeah, and of course, Daryl Moose Johnson.
He's Syracuse.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a big time announcer now.
I remember when they drafted Derek Lassick.
Yeah, remember Derek? You remember Derek's wife?
No.
She was a big time girl on the news. Was it Neville? She was related to the Neville brothers out of New Orleans. One of them guys was her dad. You don't remember Arthel?
Let me see.
Yeah, she was big in TV broadcasting. She married Derek. Derek played for Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if you ever look at his spouse, it should say Arthel Neville. They eventually got a divorce, but that was his wife.
Okay.
You remember the Neville brothers? They were out of New Orleans.
Yeah, I know the Neville brothers.
Listen, Arthel's daddy is one of them Neville brothers. One of them brothers used to sing with Linda Ronstadt. Do you remember Linda Ronstadt?
The name sounds familiar.
She was big, man, during the 70s and 80s. She would do a lot of duets with somebody in the chat. What was that Neville brothers name that she do them songs, but they was awesome. They'd be on the Oprah Winfrey show all the time. She was Linda Ronstadt. She was big in pop music in the 70s and 80s. She's sickly now. But I can't. One of them Neville brothers. Look in the chat. See if somebody. What's that Neville brother name?
Aaron Neville.
Aaron Neville. They won a Grammy. They won 2 or 3 Grammys, I think.
It was crazy though when they drafted Derek Lassick. I watched that draft that year, and it was funny. I was like, "Why y'all draft another running back other than the fact that they were trying to find?" I thought they were trying to find a replacement for Emmitt Smith, and I'm like, "Y'all crazy trying to find."
Yeah, because he didn't pan out, did he?
No, he surely did not pan out.
About what, 2 years, 2 or 3 years? How many years he played for the Cowboys?
He only played with the Cowboys 2 years, 93 and 94.
That's right. Yeah, I remember him. He was kind of small. He was kind of short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Derek Lassick. He got a national championship ring, though.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, that's right.
Miami.
Yeah.
Then the receivers, Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin.
Oh, Alvin Harper. Alvin Harper had a son, went to Florida A&M. Alvin went to Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember Alvin. Alvin was something else, man.
Yep. And I remember when when he signed, it was a bad deal when he signed. He got his money, but it was still a bad deal when he signed his contract with Tampa Bay.
That's right. He went to Tampa, which was the end of his career.
In his career, because he couldn't run all the routes on the route tree like Michael Irvin did.
He was more of a split end. Irvin was more of a Z. Alvin was a split. You're right. He was different from Michael.
Yeah, he was different. And then Kevin Williams, he was straight up.
Kevin was real fast, right? Number 5?
85.
Okay, wasn't he Miami?
Yep.
Yeah, he was a speedster.
Oh yeah, he came.
Yeah, I remember Kevin.
He came from Roosevelt in Dallas. It's the same school my mom went to. So. Oh,
he went to Roosevelt. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Kevin Williams.
So his whole family, him and his brothers, they all athletic. All of them athletic. And I'm talking about when I say, I think his younger brother Kendall was more athletic than he was.
Than Kevin?
Yep.
I just remember Kevin for his speed, man. He was a burner, man.
That was the main thing. He
was a burner.
He was a burner. And then when you got him in the special teams, the kick return game.
Yeah, that's right. That's him.
Couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
And this is 93. So Jimmy Smith was already, they cut Jimmy Smith prior to that because
that's right. He went to Jacksonville, right?
Well, he didn't go to anybody else at the time because Jacksonville didn't come into play until 95.
Because he sued the owner, didn't he? Didn't Jimmy Smith sue the owner?
As far as
it was about his money.
Sue Jerry Jones or sue?
Yeah, I think he sued Jerry. Yeah, because he was on the championship team, and I don't know if they didn't give him his playoff money, but it was something they didn't give him. You look up, do his biography, you'll see it. He sued Jerry Jones, and I think he got his money. Yeah, I remember that.
That's another person that need to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man, he was something else. Yeah, he's on the Wall of Fame with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. Now, when he was in college, they came to Atlanta to play Alabama State at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Yeah, and his quarterback was named Ricky Jordan.
Yeah, everybody keep talking about him.
I saw them. They came here. That was the year that Alabama State won the national championship for HBCU. That was 1991, I think.
Wasn't that Reggie Barlow on that team and Eddie Robinson?
Eddie Robinson, they had a dude, the quarterback was from Jackson. His name was Ricky Jones. They had a running back, Rico Whipple or something. He was tough. Harvest Baker, he went to the Falcons. Oh, they had some players, man. They had some players. That was Coach Markham.
Okay.
Jerome Harper was the defense coordinator. They went down to Miami and beat up North Carolina A&T. That's Cornell Maynard's team. He was a quarterback.
He was a quarterback at the time.
At the time, yeah. That was the early Heritage Bowl. It didn't. They only had 9,000 people at the game. Yeah, didn't work out. They decided to bring the heritage to Atlanta.
Oh yeah. That is true. He said he had an issue with his appendix and
Yeah.
he had an appendectomy and it has something to do said he couldn't participate because he would have missed the entire season and the Super Bowl, but he did get a ring. They placed him on the non-football illness list and opted not to pay his entire salary for 93 insurance and pension and free agent credits. Instead, making Smith an offer of $100,000 and no credits, which he declined. The NFLPA filed a grievance with the Cowboys on Smith's behalf, alleging that he was due his full salary, which he won after going through arbitration.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right, you're right. Of course, remember they cut him the next year after he didn't want to take a pay cut.
Right. Yeah.
But I think because at that time when Jimmy, because we had so many weapons at receiver, that those years right there, I think he would have he did flourish when he got to Jackson.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I remember. What was the other guy with him at Jacksonville? It was Jimmy and who? Keenan That's right. That's right. That was the other guy. Yeah, they were good, man.
Now,
that guy was quarterback was Mark Brunell, right?
Brunell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Cameron, you right. He did go to Philly. They cut him, and then when Jacksonville came into play, they actually got him in a. I think they got him in the expansion draft.
Yeah, I think so too.
They didn't get him in the expansion draft because you get in the expansion draft, that means they're taking players off of other teams. So he wasn't on the team, so he came in as a free agent.
Yeah, they had a good program. That was Tom Coughlin.
Yep.
They had some good teams, man. Was it Clyde Jones? Was one of the defensive ends? He had come from Philly.
Seth Joyner.
No, this guy was a defensive end. He had played with Reggie White.
Was it Clyde?
I thought his name was John. Clyde Simmons?
It's Seth Joyner. Seth Joyner.
Seth was a linebacker.
I have to see. I'm gonna see.
Yeah. This guy was a big defensive end. Because let me tell you, them teams Jimmy was on, there were some good teams. That Mark Brunell, he was a left-handed quarterback.
Let's go 95 Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Or we go 96 because that's when that's when they really jump started everything.
Yeah, like I said, man, Tom Coughlin had some good teams down there in Jacksonville. Because he left Jacksonville, I think, and went to the Giants.
No, it's Seth Joyner. Yeah, Seth Joyner.
Was he a defensive end or linebacker?
Defensive end.
Yeah, about 6'6". What was he?
Let me see.
Was he 6'5", 6'6"?
Was he on this team? Seth Joyner. Clyde Simmons was on the team.
That's what I'm talking about. Clyde Simmons. Clyde Simmons played with Reggie White and a guy named Jerome Brown.
Yeah.
You remember Jerome Brown?
Man, Jerome was a dog.
He was, and he got killed in a fast car or something.
Yeah.
He was running the car real fast and got killed. Yeah, that's Buddy Ryan's team at Philly. Clyde Simmons, that's it. Yeah, and Jerome Brown. I want to say, was it Bob Golick? Was Golick with them?
On that team?
Yeah, I'm talking about this was Philly now.
Yes.
Yeah, because they had a front four. They called the defense the game green or something.
Green defense.
Andre Ward, was it Andre Waters?
Was it Andre Waters?
He was from a black college. He's from a small black college. I want to say something like Cheney State, something like that.
Ooh, man, I was looking at this lineup for the Jaguars in '96. Mark Brunell and Rob.
Mark.
Then, like I said, Randy Jordan.
Well, okay, what did Randy play?
He was a kick returner.
Okay.
And then Lachey Maston was a fullback.
Yeah.
Natron Means.
I think he was North Carolina.
Natron Means and James Stewart.
I remember James Stewart. Now, where was he from?
He went to Tennessee.
That's right.
Yeah. And then, of course, wide receivers, Reggie Barlow.
Alabama State.
Yeah, Willie Jackson from Florida.
I remember Willie. Willie was tough. He played for Steve Spurrier.
Curtis Marsh, Keenan McCardell, and Jimmy Smith.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that crew. Now, how did that team do that year? Did they win like 12, 13 games?
That team went to the, if I'm not mistaken, y'all, that team went to the AFC Championship game. No.
I think they did too. Yeah. Because Tom Coughlin was really good in Jacksonville.
Went to the AFC Championship game.
That's what I thought. Because the team that was always in their way was the Indianapolis Colts with that Peyton Manning. They always had a way of stopping Jacksonville. Was that Peyton Manning and Indianapolis Colts? That Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. Was it Edwin James?
Edwin James.
Yeah, that crew. They would always stop Jacksonville.
Yeah, 96 was, they went 9-7, went to the AFC Championship game. 97, they regressed, but 98, when they came back up, they were 14-2 in the AFC Championship game again and lost to the Broncos.
Okay.
Remember that season in 98, they beat the brakes off of Miami. Remember? They retired Dan Marino.
Okay.
And they beat them 62-7.
Yeah, I kind of remember something like that. Yeah.
And that was the year Fred Taylor came into play too. So,
yeah, Fred was from University of Florida.
Yeah, Fred came in '98.
He was a bad boy, man. Fred was a bad boy.
That draft, in fact, that '98 draft was so monumental, like, because that '98 draft was Fred Taylor and
I remember Fred. Who was that?
Randy.
Oh yeah, that was Minnesota took Randy.
Yeah,
with Chris Carter. Chris Carter was up there. Was Randall Cunningham the quarterback?
Randall Cunningham was the quarterback.
Yeah, I remember that too. That's they had a black coach. I think he's deceased. Dennis Green. Dennis Green was that coach.
And then remember, '98. This is the same draft that it was Peyton Manning first and then Ryan Leaf second.
Yeah, because Ryan went San Diego Chargers, right? He is forever remembered as the greatest bust in NFL draft history.
Yep.
They talk about him like a dog.
Yep. He ain't got his life right. So he got his life right after all the little stuff. But he will say that he wasn't, his mind wasn't right. It wasn't.
What was his college?
Washington State.
That's right. Washington State.
And he was coached by Mike Price.
That's right. I remember Mike. Mike was supposed to be the coach at Alabama. He got in some mess.
And he didn't even touch the field.
He sure didn't. He got messed up down there in Destin, Florida. Was it
Yeah, they
Fort Walton Beach or something?
had a picture or something like that, and it's circulated around. I was like, oh, yep.
Yeah, he got messed up.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be no head coach for Alabama.
No, because he came from after Dennis Francione. Was he after? Who was the coach before him? Was it Mike Dubose?
I think it was Dubose and then French.
Then Francione. Because Francione left and went to Texas A&M, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Francione was a journeyman anyway. But
yeah, that's right. He never stayed nowhere long.
Yeah. This 98 draft, y'all, Peyton Manning #1, Ryan Leaf #2, Andre Wadsworth, who's Florida State #3.
Where did he go?
He went to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I remember him.
4 is one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time, Charles Woodson.
Oh yeah, man. That's Michigan, right?
Yep. Charles, I won't even say cornerbacks. I'm gonna just say DBs because he
could do it.
And safety.
And he was punt return and kickoff return, wasn't he?
Yep. And offense too. Remember he
played
won
the Heisman Trophy.
Heisman Trophy.
Over Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm. Curtis Ennis was #5, went to the Bears. Grant Wistrom from
I remember Grant.
Yeah, Nebraska went #6 to the Rams. Carl Curley was from Iowa State, went to the Saints at #7. Greg Ellis.
I remember he went to the Cowboys.
To the Cowboys.
Defensive end from North Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him. Big guy, 6'6", about 6'6".
Yeah, second all-time sack leader in Cowboys history.
Yeah, Greg Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him.
Then #9 was Fred Taylor.
Fred was a bad boy, man.
Dwayne Starks was #10.
Who was after Fred?
Dwayne Starks.
He was a DB, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was he Florida State or Florida?
Miami.
Miami. That's right.
Yeah. Trey Thomas, Florida State, went to the Eagles.
I remember, was Trey offense or defense?
Offense.
Yeah, offensive tackle, right?
Yep.
I remember him. Yeah.
And then at #12, when the Falcons picked up Keith Brooking.
Oh, Lord, he's so overrated. They cut, we had a boy named Biscuit. Man, what was Biscuit's name? He was bad. He came here from the Buffalo Bills. Cornelius Bennett. And then they cut Cornelius for Keith Brooking, and then turned around and cut Jesse Tuggle for Keith Brooking. And he couldn't play none of the positions. He was from Georgia Tech.
Yeah. And then 13 was...
He went to the Cowboys.
Went to the Cowboys for a second.
He was overrated.
He couldn't do nothing with the Cowboys.
Keo
Spice went at
He was a bad boy. He from a little small town in Georgia called Sandersville. He went to Auburn.
Yep. Jason Peter.
I remember that. Yeah. Now he was from what college?
Nebraska.
That's right. Jason Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, he went 14 with the Panthers. Anthony Simmons went to the Seahawks at #15 from Clemson.
Anthony was from where? Clemson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
And then at #16, they was the Oilers, but shit, they became the Titans the next year. Kevin Dyson.
I remember Kevin was a wide receiver. Was he Syracuse?
Utah.
Utah. Yeah, I remember Kevin.
Brian Simmons got drafted at #17 by the Bengals, linebacker from North Carolina.
I remember him.
18 was Robert Edwards.
Oh, well, he was a true. Wait a minute, from University of Georgia?
Yep.
See, him and that Spikes boy you just called out, they from the same hometown. They from Sandersville, Georgia.
That ain't fair.
And that Edwards boy you called, he went to University of Georgia.
Oh, that ain't fair, Mr. Ford. That ain't fair. That is not fair. That was not fair.
Yeah.
Vonnie Holiday, #19.
I remember him. That's North Carolina? Yeah, I remember him.
Terry Fair went to the Lions.
He was in Tennessee. He was a DB.
At #21, Randy Moss.
Oh, Lord. He was unreal, man.
He was mad. Unreal. I watched that draft. He was mad because 20 other teams did not pick him up.
That boy was the truth, man.
And every time we played the damn Vikings, while when he was still with the Vikings, he would rip us a new one.
Well, I saw him play against Howard University in the playoffs. They held him for a minute, but of course it was him and Chad Pennington.
And Chad Pennington.
Yeah. The guy who was their head coach had been the defense coordinator at the University of Florida. They played Hampton in the first round of at that time it was called the Division I AA playoffs. He was the truth, man. That he was unreal.
Yeah. Ooh, Tabucky Jones was after him at 22. Mo Collins at 23.
I remember. Where was Mo from?
Florida.
Yeah, I remember Mo.
The Giants at number 24 was Sean Williams from UCLA.
I remember Sean.
25 was Donovan Darius.
And he was from where?
Syracuse.
Yeah.
26, Alan Faneca.
LSU. Was he LSU?
Yep, LSU.
He was a spinner, right?
Yep.
He went to the Jets, right?
Steelers first.
Steelers. Okay. He was tough. I remember Alan Faneca.
Hold on.
He was tough.
Finish. Do you think the Raiders will ever come back to Oakland? Hell no.
No.
As much, Russell, I lived in Oakland for 5 years, y'all. Five of my little youth years, I lived in Oakland. Part of it, the Raiders was still in LA. The Raiders didn't come back to Oakland until probably like right before I left out. Will they ever go back to Oakland?
You just said.
No. The county, the city, well, it's not the city. Yes, it was the city. The city of Oakland disrespected. They felt like Al Davis felt like he got disrespected by the whole city. And was going to move, like he literally was going to move that team to like, it was going to be, was it Alameda? No, it was Alameda. Yeah, it was Alameda. He didn't have no parts of being friends with the mayor of Oakland or anybody. He could have been hell bent. He could have moved the team to Santa Clara before the 49ers went to Santa Clara.
Yeah.
And if you ever think that, shoot, that stadium that they built for them, if it's just for them, just for the Raiders, it's perfect. It's perfect for them to be in Vegas, and they love the Raiders. But then you got some real diehard people that's from like the LA when they was in LA at the time when they was the LA Raiders.
Yeah.
And you got the other ones that was homegrown as far as the Oakland Raiders. They still make their way down they'll still make their way to Vegas just to go to the game.
Oh yeah. That's what, 2 hours away or 3 hours away?
So from LA, this is what I learned. From LA to Vegas is 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay.
From Oakland to Vegas is like 7. 6 or 7, 6, something like that. It's something in that. What was I doing in Oakland, home of the Black Panther Party?
Yeah.
I was at Oakland because that's where my mom moved. We moved when we left out of Baxter, Louisiana. Now, I was young. Now, okay, I was young. We was young. I was probably like 7 years old when we moved to Oakland. If it was my mom, we'd be on the move. We was on the move. I'm not gonna tell her I don't want to stay here unless I would say if my granny would have kept me. But nah, I stayed with I moved in with my mom. So she went to Oakland. We tried to make a better place. We stayed in at that time we stayed in close to Emeryville, which is pretty much close to where the Black Panther Party was formulated. And then we moved to it was close to Emoryville, at North Oakland, and then we moved to West Oakland. Moved to West Oakland, which is we in the area we call Ghost Town. After that, we came back home. In fact, it was after the earthquake in '89. So like around '90, we came back to that. We came back to Dallas. We don't do the earth shaking up, shaking up under us. We don't do that. I could deal with a tornado. I could deal with flood. I could deal with hurricane. I could deal with fire. I don't do the ground shaking up under my feet. I can't do it. And then we stayed back in Dallas, and we moved back out of Oakland about a year later. This time when we moved back out to the Bay, we stayed in Richmond. And everything people say about Richmond is very true.
That's that guard from the Portland Trailblazers, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, he from West Oakland.
Okay.
Yeah, he from the West. Earthquake happened doing it. Yes, Mr. Jones. I was going to go to that game. The what we call the Bay Bridge series at the time. I was me and the classmate, we were going to go to the game. We were hold on. We were going to go to the game. We were going to ride the train over to Candlestick. And then the earthquake happened, and we ain't go nowhere because where I stayed at, all right, Mr. Hardy, where I stayed at was on the west side. I was close to the Cypress freeway. It was the double deck structure at the time, Mr. Ford, and when it came, it basically the top collapsed on the bottom, and we was probably like 2 blocks from there. But yeah, I was supposed to go to that. I was supposed to go to that World Series. At the time I was an A's fan for a little bit when I moved out there, and they were gonna beat the brakes off the Giants. I'm talking about. At that time, I don't think the Giants even wanted any parts with with the Athletics. So he talking about the Bash Brothers. He talking about
Ricky Henderson.
Talking about Ricky Henderson. He talking about
Dwayne Murphy.
You talking about my guy.
Was it Carney Langford?
Carney Langford. You talking about
Walt
Weiss. Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire.
Yeah, that's right.
Then the pitchers. Oh, Dave Parker was on that team also.
Yeah,
the Dave Henderson pitcher. You had Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah, he was a reliever. Came from the Cleveland Indians. Maybe Boston Red Sox or somebody.
Yeah,
he was the truth.
Yeah, they was about to destroy them boys. And don't get me wrong, the Giants with Will Clark, Will the Thrill, Kevin Mitchell.
Remember Kevin was from San Diego.
Mm-hmm. Who else did they have? Matt Williams. Yeah, Matt Williams was on that team.
I remember Matt.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing on it. They didn't have nothing on that team, and we were so mad. They won the series that year, '89, and then in 1990, they went up against the Big Red Machine.
That was Eric Davis.
Yeah, they went up against the Big Red Machine in Cincinnati. You're talking about Barry Larkin, Eric Davis.
Eric Davis.
The Nasty Boys, Rod Dibble, Jose Rijo, all them, they went up against them guys right there. Yeah. And the Giants had some power, but the A's were a complete team. In it, that was a complete baseball team right there.
Didn't the people that own the jeans company, didn't they own the A's? Who owned the A's back then?
Charlie Finley owned the A's.
Who owned it?
Charlie Finley.
No, Charlie got rid of them in 74.
Charlie, it was
So Charlie won 3 World Series. Then his wife saw the divorce and he sold the team. I want to say them people that make jeans, wasn't it Strausses?
The Strauss. Let me see.
Yeah, because Charlie sold the team. He won 72, 73, 74. Right. Then he and his wife were about to get a divorce, and he sold the team because he got rid of Reggie. He got rid of Sal Bando, Raleigh Finger, Gene Tennis. He sold them all.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, because Charlie wanted to change the color of the baseball from white to green.
Green, yeah. So it'll be easy to see at night.
Yeah. The 2 owners that the American Leaguers hated was him and a guy named Bill Veeck. Veeck owned the Chicago White Sox. He was the one supposed to have the disco night, and they tried to set Comiskey Park on fire. They was going to do a disco night.
My stepdad told me this story right there.
Yeah. Bill Veeck. Veeck is the one who brought Satchel Paige to the Cleveland Indians. He went and got Satchel. The other boy was named Larry Doby.
Mm-hmm. Bill Veeck, his family, they were they was the one who had the midget.
Yeah, that was the St. Louis Browns. Mm-hmm. You now call them the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah,
they were the St. Louis Browns.
And then those I remember. Oh my God, Mr. Jones, hey, you Vita Blue.
Listen, he was originally supposed to play quarterback for Grambling, and he went with the Oakland A's. He was supposed to play quarterback for Coach Rob. He was a left-hander.
Vita Blue was a dog.
Oh man, he won a Cy Young and an MVP, I think, in the same season.
Yeah, get to Oakland, man. You get to different places, man. People they'll put you on game as far as what was going on. Then living in Oakland, we were not 49ers fans, so thank God we always gonna stay with the Cowboys. It don't matter if we was on the West Coast or not. We gonna be with the Cowboys all through and through. But yeah, I just had to reminisce on some things right there.
Now I know y'all done forgot this, but O.J. Simpson's family migrated from Shreveport to San Francisco. Yeah.
I didn't know about that either.
Yeah. They migrated from Shreveport, I think, to San Francisco.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. Levi Strauss. That's right.
Yeah.
Levi Strauss. That's them years you talking about. I think they own that team.
No, it wasn't Levi Strauss.
It was?
It was Walter Haas.
Okay.
But he was the it was Walter Haas, but he was the president of Levi Strauss.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm about to say, I don't think it was the Strausses, but he was the president of the company.
Right.
Yeah, Vita Blue, Catfish Hunter, Reggie Jackson.
Yes, man. Yeah. They had like 10 different uniform combinations.
Oh yeah.
They had Mike Epstein. They had Dick Green, Burt Campanella, Sal Bando, Angel Manuel, Billy North, Joe Rudy, Reggie Jackson, a guy named George Hendricks backed up Reggie. He eventually went to the St. Louis Cardinals. Like you said, they had Ken Holtzman, Dada Blue, Jimmy Catfish Hunter, Ronnie Fingers was the fireman in the bullpen. They were something else. They won the 72 World Series against, I think it was the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
They won the 73 against the Mets and the 74 World Series against the Dodgers. Somebody check that.
I can check it.
Yeah, they won 72, 73, 74.
Yeah, 72 they beat the Reds. That was with
Johnny Benjamin, Pete Rose, George Foster.
73 was against the Mets.
That was Tom Seaver then. That was Tommy Agee, Cleon Jones, a guy named Tug McGraw, John Milner, Wayne Garrett.
And then 74 was against the Dodgers. You were correct.
That was Steve Garvey, David Loaf, Bill Russell, Ron Say, Joe Ferguson, a guy named Jimmy Wynn. They called him the Toy Counter. He started out with the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
Called him the Toy Counter.
Then 89, the World Series, that lineup. I'm telling y'all, that lineup was unfair, y'all. That whole lineup was unfair. I'm just being real honest with people. Like,
You're right, man. That's right. I forgot him. Blue Moon Odom. He went to Tallahassee High School in Macon.
That line. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Ricky Henderson, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Dave Henderson. Oh man. You talking about that team right there. And that's the last time they won a championship.
Yeah, you know, Canseco said he was shooting what the first baseman was named?
Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire. Yeah, he said he introduced him into the performing enhancing drug. He wrote a book. Canseco wrote a book. Because see, Canseco was a 40-40 man. He had 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases.
And he was a big dude too.
Yes, he was. Big brother.
He was a big dude. Like I've never seen nobody that could actually base, that was a good base runner for that size right there.
Yeah, he was sharp, man. Like you said, they come. You know, they was in the World Series and an earthquake occurred.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was supposed to go there. I was supposed to go there.
What's that? That was 89 or 88?
89.
89. That's right.
We talking about Dave Otto. Rick Honeycutt was a dog.
I remember Rick. Rick played for the Dodgers too.
Rick Honeycutt was a dog. Dennis Eckersley.
Dennis is the truth, man.
Dave Stewart. Bob
Dave Stewart. I remember Dave. Dave was originally a Dodger. Dave was somebody's general manager at one time.
Yeah, Dave was a general manager for a minute. But he got to the A's because, he from Oakland.
Right.
It was a whole thing right there. But and the same thing with Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson got back home to Oakland. He turned it out.
Yeah, but he was the truth, man. To me, they have disrespected him. They don't do enough for him.
Yeah, Chris Banks.
Man, that guy was unreal.
Terry Steinbach.
Yeah, I remember Terry.
Like I said, Mike Gallego.
He was second baseman.
Carney Lansford. Yep.
Carney was third baseman. He also played for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, Tony Phillips.
Tony Phillips, I remember Tony. Was he was infield or outfielder?
Infield.
I remember Tony.
And then outfielders Billy Bean, of course, because if you can't talk Oakland baseball, you don't talk about Billy Bean.
Did he go to Southern Cal?
Billy.
When did he go to college?
He came out. straight out of. I think he came straight out of high school.
Billy, I thought Billy went to Southern Cal. Okay.
Yeah, Billy Bean came straight out of high school. He didn't go. He didn't go to college.
Go to college. Okay.
Yeah. But you can't talk about Oakland baseball without talking about Billy Bean. Even though
remember Billy,
he didn't pan out playing baseball, the man was a genius when it came to being a GM.
Right. Yeah. Remember Billy. They made a movie about Billy.
Yeah. Moneyball.
That's right.
Lance Blankenshire, Jose Canseco, Dave Henderson, Ricky Henderson, Stan Javier.
I remember Stan.
Felix Jose, Louis Polonia. Woo.
Remember Louis Polonia? I think Louis went to the Yankees.
Yeah. And then Tony La Russa was the mastermind.
Yeah, Tony La Russa,
La Russa was the mastermind.
And he took it from there to the Cardinals, right?
Yep.
Is he still with the White Sox?
No, he gone. He left out of the White Sox.
Okay, because Tony's about 80. I was Tony.
Tony is like almost in his 80s.
Yeah, that's right. Because I thought it was a terrible choice when they put him with the White Sox.
Yeah, Tony's almost in his 80s.
Because they not that far away with the White Sox.
Nah,
they got some talent, man.
They glory years have passed on. They try to bring it back, but I think their glory years passed on. After 05, after they won the World Series, it's I think they try to bring that same type of energy back, and they couldn't replicate that.
Who you talking about? White Sox? Yeah, what was the guy's name? Isaac Guillen, wasn't they coach manager?
Yeah, Isaac Guillen was the manager for the White Sox. He's the one that led them to the World Series that year.
Yeah. Now where's Isaac now?
I don't even know.
Okay.
And yeah, you're right. Game did pass Tony by. The game passed Russa by. So you gotta move up with the times. I think now a lot of when it comes to Major League Baseball, just baseball period, like you have to adjust to the time frame where you're in now.
I know one thing. Nobody plays ABC baseball. Everybody want to sit back and want a three-run homer.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play the game like it once was played.
Yeah, I'm more of a like single, double, triple. if you get a home run. But I'm more about putting people on base, and then whoever my cleanup hitter is, you ain't got to hit a home run, but you can give me a 2-run double, a 3-run double. We good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think with the White Sox, like Frank Thomas, all those guys right there, that the game just passing them by.
I remember when Frank Thomas said he didn't know who Jackie Robinson was.
Yes, Mr. Jones, the Atlanta Braves is kicking some butt. They will be here next Thursday in Dallas, the DFW area, to play the Texas Rangers. And I'm thinking about trying to go to one of the games right there. I'm a Braves fan, so I'm just letting everybody know. I'm a Braves fan. So they'll be here in Dallas this week, about next week. But I know the Rangers are on they on a West Coast swing right now. And they like number one, they first place in the division. But them Astros is right behind them.
Now, do you remember when Ron Washington was the manager for the Texas Rangers?
Oh yeah. I was a Rangers fan too, so don't get me wrong. I was a Rangers fan. I was a fan of certain players for the Rangers. Like, so if you want to go back, if I'm gonna talk about this and then we gonna roll up out of here. But if you want to go back to, like, of course, like 93, 94, you got Nolan Ryan, but that was
Right.
his latter years right there. So, but we talk about 95, like pitchers, Roger Pavlik, shoot, hit it batters. You got Juan Gonzalez, who was a big.
Yeah, I remember him.
Rafael Palmeiro, before he went to Baltimore,
Right, I remember him.
he probably did PEDs, but you can't teach that swing that he has.
You remember Pudge Rodriguez?
Pudge, oh yes, Pudge was the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah, I remember him.
But with Rafael Palmeiro, you cannot teach that swing. You can't. You cannot teach that type of swing. That his swing and Ken Griffey Jr. swing are like one of the sweetest in baseball ever.
What about Billy Hamilton? Wasn't there a center fielder named Hamilton?
Oh, Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton couldn't stay out the crack.
That's right. I remember him.
He couldn't stay out the crack. But
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, he had power. He had natural power, but he did chase after bad pitches. So, and I remember they tried to bring him back after they let him go, and it wasn't the same.
Right.
Dean Palmer. I remember one time when they brought in Mickey Tettleton from Detroit.
I remember Nicky. Yeah, I remember.
Shoot, then Rusty Greer, who was pretty much at that time. Rusty Greer, who was pretty much the heart and soul of the team. Like, he was a scrapper. He didn't care. He'd get in the dirt. He'd get dirty with you. And then when you talk about the Ron Washington teams,
Yeah, one night. They went to the World Series twice, right?
Twice, yes. And guess who orchestrated that? Guess who put that all together? Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan put all that together to get ran out of town by John Daniels.
That was the owner.
He was like the president of baseball operations. So he wasn't an owner. Nolan Ryan was like pretty much the de facto general manager. So Nolan Ryan put together that whole team, and he put the right pieces in place. You had Josh Hamilton, who was pretty much a vagabond in baseball because he couldn't stay out the dope. They I wouldn't say they sold, but they sold out when they went to go get Yu Darvish. Like, they.
Yeah, I remember Yu Darvish. Where is he now? Is he with the Dodgers? Where is he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Elvis Andrews.
He was from Michigan with the Braves. He came out of our farm system.
Yeah, Elvis Andrews. Like,
yeah.
Shoot.
What about Mark Teixeira?
Mark Teixeira, yes, he was homegrown with us.
Right.
Big Tex.
He went to Georgia Tech.
Big Tex was homegrown with us. He was in our farm system too. Shoot. You wouldn't even talk about Joey Gallo because I still can't.
Is he still with the Yankees?
Yep. Who else is on it? The squad. Hold on. But I remember they went twice. They went 2 years in a row, and it was heartache. It was heartache. It was a lot of people that was upset. Yeah, and we was doing, and they was doing all this with the ownership issues.
Right.
So Pitchers. You got Natalie Police, Frank Francisco, Rich Harden, Matt Harrison, Derek Holland. Yes, Derek Holland was on Tommy Hunter. Cliff Lee, I remember because they got him from Philadelphia.
Yeah, I remember him.
Lewis, Mark Lowe, Doug Mathis, Darren O'Day, who was a sidearm pitcher, Darren Oliver, who was a Ranger staple, C.J. Wilson. C.J. Wilson was C.J. Wilson left-handed too, man.
Y'all got Jacob DeGrom, right?
Yeah, we got Jacob. They got Jacob DeGrom, Marcus, and Corey Seager.
Yeah, Corey was a Dodger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Corey.
Yeah, they paid $300 million for Corey Seager. They paid $200-some million for Marcus Semien last season. And I'm trying to figure out why you paid him that much. And
that was the black picture. See,
Semien, Marcus Semien.
Yeah, he's a big pitcher.
He's a outfielder, infielder outfielder.
Oh, okay. I got the wrong person.
He hit below 200. No, he hit below 250, and I'm like, why are y'all paying him that much money? You're paying him $230-some million. So you paying the two highest paid players. You paying them over $500 million.
Right.
Let's see. Taylor Teagarden was the catcher. Jared Saltalamacchia.
Yeah, I remember talking about. He was from the Braves.
And then Benji Molina. I remember them.
Yeah, I remember Molina too.
Joaquin Arias, Alex Cord, Chris Davis, infield as first baseman. And Chris Davis, they let him go to Baltimore, and he became something else. Yeah, Mike Young is pretty much Mr. Ranger. Ian Kinsler, second baseman.
I remember him.
Mitch Moreland, Justin Smith.
Ian came from who? The Brewers?
Ian came from out of college. He came from Arizona State.
Oh, he's always played for the Texas Rangers?
Yeah, he came out of college from Arizona State.
Okay.
With the Rangers, then we went to the Detroit Tigers.
That's right. I knew somebody.
And then say outfielders Brandon Boggs, Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz been around 30 years, man. How long you been around?
You can say that. He's been around for a minute.
Long time. He can hit it now. Nelson can hit it.
Oh, yeah. And that's the crazy thing. We didn't even have Beltray on the team at the time.
I remember him, third baseman. Yeah, I remember him. Was he a Dodger?
He was a Dodger.
That's right. I remember him.
He was a Dodger. And then the next season, so remember the next season is when they got Beltray.
Yeah.
So the Rangers, like if you come out to Dallas to Texas, you go see the new Rangers, the Globe Life Field.
Right.
Nice, very nice stadium.
Now Texas Southern and Southern gonna continue to play there. That's over.
Nah, they discontinued the they.
Okay.
No, they didn't discontinue. The contract was up already.
Okay.
So they actually played out the contract. Yeah, Adrian Beltre came on the next season, and they still lost the World Series. And that went to the 2011 was it the Giants or was it? No, it was the. Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals was 2011. 2010 was the Giants. Yes, it was the Giants.
That's Buster Posey now.
Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much the same team that they had. They just added Adrian Beltre. They still was number one in the West in AOS. But Ron Washington with that team, man, he was awesome, man. I just hated the fact that he left quit because of all the stuff that with the him. They said he did cocaine. I'm like, dude, I don't. If you were doing it now, that's understandable. But if you did that way back in the day, shoot, stay with the team. But he still loved down here. He still loved.
Yeah, because he's loved in Atlanta.
Yeah,
he's loved here. You right? He should have his own team, but he's something else, man.
But yeah, I know we usually talk about HBCU sports, but it's good to talk about some other stuff, baseball, and get my little testimony out and stuff like that. But I'm shut this thing down. I ate all day, so I'm gonna eat on screen. I ain't gonna try to disrespect nobody like that. So somebody be talking bad about me. But excuse me. But we'll be back tomorrow night at 7:00. So with Saturday Night Live. With I'm gonna have as far as with tomorrow, we gonna be on here. We try to talk swag track and field down there at Prairie View.
Hey Doc, when is the baseball tournament for the SWAT? I know it's in Atlanta. What's the dates?
It might don't it start this month?
Yeah, I'm thinking. But I'm saying, you know the dates?
I haven't seen the dates.
Because I know it's going to be at Georgia Tech, isn't it?
Let me see. That's it. I still follow.
Because it's going to be. I think it's going to be in Atlanta.
Like I said, I gave my condolences to Tori Bowie, her family.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we gave our condolences to her family, and then I know the president for Savannah State, she just resigned.
Yeah. Yeah. They cut at least $11 million away from their budget.
Yeah, and
they've laid off a number of professors and everything.
And then the attendance was declining also.
Yeah.
So let's hope they get their stuff, man. We hope they get their stuff together.
Yeah, because what's the name is trying to swallow them up. Georgia Southern. They're offering to buy the school. I don't know, Mr. Campbell, why it's in Atlanta, but I think it is here. I think it's going to be on the campus of Georgia Tech. Y'all need to check that. I don't know why they're having it here, but I'm going to try to make it because I like baseball too.
Mm-hmm.
I know if Pam is in it, it'll be a big crowd. There's a lot of rappers here in Atlanta.
I'm looking at it. Let's see. Yeah, it's in Atlanta.
Yeah. I remember Tech. Let's see. Florida A&M came here about 2 years ago for a regional. I think they played Auburn and maybe played Georgia Tech. Man, them rappers was there, bro. Them rappers was in the house. Yeah, they came up here first round of the baseball playoffs, college baseball playoffs. Yeah, them rappers was in the house.
HBCU Overdrive is proudly sponsored by WeWorkForEverything.org. At WeWorkForEverything.org, this is for those who are trying to build for a dream with their latest hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and accessories and more. You can have it all here at a reasonable price. Black owned and operated out of the great state of New York. Like I said, get suited and booted. Check it out at WeWorkForEverything.org. Peace.
Oh snap! My bad. I think I hit the button on here and it turned off. My bad. I'm gonna get something else. I'm gonna get another thing over here. But other than that, if you like I said, I'm gonna start doing this for my people. I get my merchandise from my fraternity and the Masonic merchandise from. If you are in the area, if you are in the DFW area, please. All right. All right. My bad, y'all. Okay. My thing died, so I gotta charge it up. If you are I'm doing this PSA for my people over at End Zone. So if you are in the DFW area, if you decide to slide, if you're just hanging out in Dallas, with family, friends, don't matter, visiting school, make your way over to Oak Cliff to the Redbird area as always, and go check out End Zone embroidery shop. They are black owned and operated, been in business for over 30 years. And if you want all your fraternity uh, memorabilia, sorority memorabilia, um, Prince Hall, um, Eastern Star, Shriner, uh, any other colleges, black schools that you thinking of going to, looking for shirts, start with Wiley, uh, Texas Southern, Prairie View Southern, Jackson State, Langston, um, Grambling. Go check out End Zone at the shops at Redbird. Talk to Miss Cheryl and Mr. Cletus. They will get you right, suited and booted, um, and it would be at a reasonable price. So, um, make sure that you go check them out. Okay, this thing is getting on my nerves. So, can y'all hear that? Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all still hear me? Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure. But go check them out. They'll get you right. They do traveling, so they do travel to other to homecomings. So go check them out and let me know what they, let them know what you want to do. All right, but other than that, look, we gonna be up out of here, y'all. We gonna be up out of here. It's past my bedtime, but I thank y'all for rocking with me tonight. This has been another HBCU Overdrive live stream. You haven't done about now. Make sure that you like this stream, comment, share, and most of all, subscribe, become a member of the hottest HBCU podcast that's on YouTube right now. We have 2 tiers. If you want to become an exclusive member of the channel, Overdrive Blue, Overdrive Purple. You get everything dealing with the Overdrive family, and we appreciate you for rocking with us tonight. But as always, we is out of here. We are out of here. We are out of here till tomorrow, Saturday Night Live, with me, myself, Pomona, and Mr. Ford. Make sure that y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay dangerous. Till tomorrow night. Peace.